talk, and because they become such a powerful team on Division III, this could be the last time that Hofstra and St. John's will play one another. It's been a great rivalry going through the 80s and this game now in the 90s. In fact, Barry, the last 3 times that they've played, the last 3 times St. John's has been on this field, they've won 2 of the 3, including the last 2. So if it is indeed the last game between these 2 teams, it's a rivalry that we can look back to and a lot of greatness. Gentlemen.
Thank you very much, Carl. It has been a very exciting rivalry. You see both teams gathered around their respective coaching staffs. Who could forget the Todd Jamison era back in '82 with Dennis Blygen, the great win they had here on this field. 2 years after that, of course, the big win, sandwiched around a great Hofstra win, which got them into the '83 playoffs undefeated. Look at the 2 coaches, Bob Ricca wearing the red St. John's jacket, and there's Joe Gardy. One happy fella this year. Who would have believed that back in August it was going to work this way for Joe?
Oh, to look at his record and see it a clean, perfect 9-0. I just wonder what they were saying to the guys there. That's where the motivation factor comes in, that early motivation.
This is the 7th meeting between these clubs. As we said, it's been an exciting series, tied at 3 apiece. Last year, it was Hofstra coming up with a big 4th quarter to win it, 42-17. Rory Moss passing for then school record 354 yards and 4 touchdowns. And Chris Colangelo added 9 receptions for 133 yards. And Jim Scully, who's now a defensive end, running the football last year, rushed for 124 yards. So we're just about ready to go, and it will be Hofstra receiving. Rob Castilli will be doing the kicking off for St. John's. Mark Cox is deep along with Brian McGee. McGee 44 and Cox 25. 2 of their fine running backs. As we've mentioned, the guys are called Munchkins by Coach Joe Gardy. But they can run the football. They don't like that name too often. And we're just about ready to go. Our Metro College game of the week here on a Friday night. Cool, crisp temperatures in the 50s. And a pretty nice crowd on hand here in Hofstra. The Flying Dutchmen try for an undefeated season. The Redmen of St. John's try to knock them off again. Castilli's kick bouncing downfield. McGee will watch it go out of bounds, and we'll have a re-kick coming up here. The special teams is one area, Beasley, that Joe Gardy's been proud of lately. He always was a big special teams guy when he was with the Jets, although at one point in his career he did coach special teams. And he said it's awfully difficult at the beginning of a year when you take over a Division III program, you don't have spring practice, to get that phase of the game going quickly.
Well, there's never enough time in the day to prepare, and he's certainly correct. When you don't have that time that he is accustomed to in pro football, it's very difficult to get the special teams in, but as you said, he really believes in them, and he looks at it as an equal third of the success of a football team, and they've done very well with it this season.
McGee has averaged 22 yards a return, one of the leaders on this club. Cox has just been added to the kickoff unit. Rob Castilli stepping forward, this time from the 30-yard line after the 5-yard walk-off. McGee will take the line drive kick at the 23-yard line. 30, 35, 40, and he's pushed out of bounds by the kicker up at midfield. So Castilli got it after a 27-yard return, and Hofstra starts the ball game in excellent field position here.
Well, that's got to shake you up as a coach. That's not the type of start that you want, of course.
Take a look at the starters for the Flying Dutchman, and that offense awfully potent. Wayne Morris having a brilliant year, one of the wideouts, along with Scott Millington. And the split ends, Cuco and Colangelo, have also bang-up jobs. The offensive line has done one tremendous job this year, led by Boudet and Leaf Shea. So we're just about set to go here. Ball at the 49-yard line. Moss on the pitch. And this is Al Hagofsky. And he'll pick up about 5 yards before he's brought down by the defensive back, Milt Gasparis, coming up from the secondary. And there's a look at Rory Moss, and closing in on just about every Hofstra passing record this junior out of the Bronx. He's got 20 touchdowns already this year. Only 14 interceptions. That's been a big improvement since early in the year.
And that's the big key. That's what Coach Gardy was worried about, was the decision-making process, and Rory has certainly improved in that area. Only 14 interceptions.
Hagofsky picking up 5 yards. He's averaged almost 4 yards a pop. They will alternate a lot of running backs. They stay on the ground. Hagofsky, nice hole into the secondary, has the first down as he picks up about 10 yards on the play to the 35-yard line. Vince O'Grady, the number 3 tackler on the club, one of the outstanding linebackers in local college football, made the tackle. And let's take a look at the St. John's defense. The front three, Palowski, Cunningham, Lambright. The linebackers, the strength of this club, Colangelo, Biter, O'Grady have been awfully good. They miss Carl Volpe, who's injured. And the secondary, which has been banged up a little bit, Steve Nieves, the best man back there. Stay on the ground, and Hagowski bounces off one tackle, dives forward to the 31-yard line. Pickup of 4, and he was stopped on the play by Vince O'Grady. Bees, this is an awfully tough team with that offensive line to stop picking up 3-4 yards a pop.
That's very true. We are not seeing the classic run and shoot style that Hofstra normally employs. They've lined up in a 2 tight end offense. They are simply pushing a new line of scrimmage, and they've got those running backs that they can interchange, all little strong guys that can push it for 3-4 yards a pop.
Mike Scheibe has come in as a tight end. Now they work out of that single setback. Colangelo wide to the left. And a little misdirection. Moss in trouble, avoids the tackle, throws incomplete. Making the pressure, putting the pressure on was number 63, Frank Palowski, as he threw incomplete, looking for the sideline. And it'll set up a 3rd down play here.
You know, Barry, when you watch a play like that, you see the confidence of this offense. They really were very deliberate selling that fake. No rush whatsoever. The play didn't work, but just, you know, very confident offense. The time that they took to sell the fake there.
Hugo lines up wide to the right, top of your screen. Millington goes in motion on 3rd and 6. Moss with plenty of time, looking for the sideline. Incomplete, looking for Wayne Morris. And will set up a possible field goal or punting situation. And look how fired up the St. John's sideline is over there, as they came up with a big defensive play.
And they should be excited if they can dodge a bullet like that to start off in the bad field position and to force a punt or a field goal attempt. They've got to be proud. A good hit over on the sideline, and that's probably what Coach Rickard told them. You know, we got to come out and really bang these guys.
Bob Bullard, who has kicked 12 out of 15 field goals, will kick. Colangelo will be the holder. And the kick will come from around the 38-yard line. It'll be a 48-yarder. This will be the longest of his career if he makes it. It's on the way. It looks short, and it will be short. So Hofstra given good field position, unable to cash in on the first opportunity. And St. John's will get the ball back here in this scoreless first quarter. 12:55 to go. And we look at the St. John's offense. Sean Bannon will bring his club out. Anthony Russo, of course, the big guy. Mike Robinson, the fullback. Jeff Long's had a fine year at one of the wideouts, along with Anthony Iadivio. And the tight end, Andy Ryan, a former Hofstra quarterback. And offensive line banged up, as we said. A lot of injuries. They've got a lot of kids there, freshmen and sophomores, trying to fill the hole. Sean Bannon on 1st and 10 at the 21-yard line. Long count, work out of the eye, hand off to the fullback Robinson, and the ball looked like it was almost knocked out of his hands. Eric Ringoen on the stop. One of the outstanding linebackers on this defense. And here's a look at Sean Bannon. And he has struggled a little bit, but they're going to go with him right now. The junior out of Coram, New York, and thrown for 7 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. Last week against Georgetown was 14 for 26, 193 yards. 2nd and 8. Split backfield right now. Here's Russo looking for a hole, and he picks up about 3-4 tough yards up the middle. Larry Brady, fine linebacker, brought him down along with safety Joe Rizzo. So it'll set up a 3rd and about 4 play. As we look at the Hofstra defense, that front 4, Jim Scully is a dandy, 11.5 sacks. Return to the linebackers, each one of them an All-American candidate. And the secondary a little bit banged up. A couple of the starters not in there. Vilkakis is down along with the starting safety, John Zankin. So it is one area of a little concern for Hofstra. On 3rd and 4, Bannon to throw sideline, looking for the intended receiver. Salgado nearly picked off the pass that was intended for Jeff Long.
Just great timing there by Salgado. Probably recognized the fact that it was a 3-step drop. Pretty easy to read if you've got the confidence to sit in. A good break on the ball.
Rob Castilli, who recently took over the punting, will be in to do the punting. Anthony Iadivio had done it earlier, and he's standing back at around the 15-yard line. Let's see who Hofstra has back there deep. It's Mark Cox. Now they send 3 men back there. They'll have a chance to get it away. Now downfield, and it'll be taken upfield and down at around the 38-yard line. As the return, very short return over there, and if at all, Joey Driver, number 38, maybe the fastest running back on the team, brought down by Mike Robinson, the fullback.
Mike Robinson with good hustle there. You know, a good hit. That's the second good hit we've seen by the Redmen. It would be interesting if they could keep that type of enthusiasm going and kind of shake that momentum up a little bit.
Well, as we said earlier, Bees, and we saw it in a couple of games earlier, the defense has been outstanding for St. John's. They just wilted in the second half in some games, just worn down. And Hofstra's been a little bit of a slow starter this year. This time a new running back in the ball game, and they give it to Brian McGee. So they start the series with a new fresh running back. Said, we'll try Brian McGee.
Well, that's what's fun about watching them when they run the ball. They can just shuttle those guys in and out. They're all built pretty much the same. The only difference is the number. The effort is there. Good coaching by the offensive coaches, the way those guys, the effort that they give every time they touch the ball.
Rob Spence, the offensive coordinator, brought the run and shoot from Iona. It is now a 2nd and 4 situation. Brian McGee, the single running back. That's dangerous. Wayne Morris in motion. They'll keep it on the ground to McGee, and McGee will not get the first down. Tripped up after he picked up a couple of yards and brought down by Vince O'Grady. We saw O'Grady play a tremendous game a few weeks ago. I think he had about 15, 16 tackles against the Merchant Marine Academy. It was going 2 ways that game.
Yeah, he's fun to watch. You know, plays tight end on offense. Just a tough guy. Can do it on good defensive play.
3rd and short yardage. Colangelo will come wide to the left. Cuco wide to the right. 2 tight ends here. Try for the first down with McGee, and he leaps to midfield and has the first down. So Brian McGee, 5'11", 215-pound senior out of Lincoln High School in Brooklyn, picks up the first down and heads off to the sideline. Says, I had my series. Time for somebody else.
They share the wealth. It's a very conservative offensive approach so far by Hofstra. Just, you know, if you can line up and push people back for 3 or 4 yards, that's the safest way to go.
So it's a first down at midfield. Mark Cox is in as the running back. Pitch to the sideline to Cuco, and Cuco out of bounds as he picks up about a first down, about 10 yards. Nevin Mann drove him to the sideline out of bounds. And it's very close to the first down. Let's see where they mark it. It'll be shy by about a yard. Look at Frank Cuco as the 2nd leading receiver this year. He's had a fine season. He's got more receptions than Chris Colangelo, but it's been a share the wealth philosophy this year.
Everybody catches the ball in this offense. That's probably a nightmare for defensive coordinators trying to get ready to play these guys.
Moss 1 for 3 has Morris in motion. He's their big play guy. Moss looking away, throwing and drilling it incomplete. He was looking downfield for Frank Cuco and drilled it a little bit low. So Moss off to a little bit of a slow start, 1 for 4 here, but you know, the run and shoot, as we've often seen, Beasley, it's mistake, or incompletion, incompletion, boom, 40, 50-yard touchdown.
That's the nature of the offense. You know, it's high percentage in some respects, but in others, you're going to get some drop balls, you're going to get some bad plays, and then touchdown or big play.
3rd and about a yard for Rory Moss as the junior quarterback checks over the line. Keep it on the ground, and Mark Cox looks like he has the first down. He was nudging that football a little further, and he's got it, says our referee, Larry Kukatka. Vince O'Grady again on the tackle, along with Mike Cunningham. That Redmen defense has been awfully tough to run against, Beasley. 85 yards they've held opponents this year per game. I guess Hofstra's saying, hey, you've held an opponent's 85 yards. See if you could stop us. If not, we'll pass on you. Again, Morris goes in motion on 1st and 10. Too much time, perhaps. There's no clock here. 25-second clock that's being kept down on the field, and that is the call. Delay of game.
Delay of game is the signal from the official who costs 5 yards.
So it'll make it 1st and 15 for the Flying Dutchman. And there are the officials working today's game. Larry Kukachka and his fine crew, Bill Osola, the umpire, and head linesman John Drennan, line judge Peter Burke, and the rest of the crew. Millington in motion. On 1st and 15, Cox has about 4 of those yards, brought down as he got to the 41 by Ray Lambright. Good-looking freshman from Bayside High School in Queens.
79, Ray Lambright.
We look at Mark Cox out of Amesbury, Massachusetts, heading off.
Mark Cox does a lot for this team. Good special team player, very sure hands. That's why they put him back there on punts and kickoffs, and I just love to watch him run the ball. His determination.
Joe Gardy calls him my lunch pail guy. Second and short. Moss looking to air it out up the middle, and Cuco cannot hang on. He had it in and out. Jason Villar was one of the defenders over there, along with Nevin Mann. And usually sure-handed Frank Cuco down on the field. I believe he may be shaken up.
Well, you really couldn't ask for the pass to be put in a better position. Just a great throw by Rory Moss. Should have been caught. He hit him right on the fingertips. He may have been a little bit conscious of what was around him. Nice little play fake. Steph, good technique. Watch where this ball hits. Just perfectly right in both hands. Looks like he knew he was going to get hit. It looked like he tried to bring it in before it was jarred out, and didn't quite complete the reception.
This young man, who has excellent hands, has over 1,000 yards in his fine career here, the senior. So it's now 3rd and long yardage here for the Flying Dutchman. Let's call it 12. Millington goes in motion. Passing situation for Rory Moss and the Hofstra Flying Dutchman. Tipped as he tried to get it off. I believe number 59, Mike Cunningham, or number 79, Ray Lambright, got their hand on the ball. So it's not been an auspicious start here for Rory Moss and Hofstra.
No, it has not. They have sputtered a bit on offense. You know, you can tell that their offensive line will be able to challenge St. John's when it comes to pushing for the 4 or 5 yard crack.
Here's a look at Mark Cox getting ready to do the punting. Cox has done a fine job this year. Anthony Iadivio is back to receive the kick along with Chris Amalfitano. Cox has averaged 36 yards a punt. No pressure at all, but he squibs it off the side of his foot. Hofstra will get the bounce, however, on the AstroTurf, but the ball dies at around the 19-yard line. So St. John's comes out of it with pretty good field position, considering they could have been buried at the goal line. So Cox, a little unhappy, slams his helmet. Says, I made a mistake out there. 22-yard punt for Cox, one of his poorest of the year. So St. John's in this scoreless first quarter takes over 1st and 10, 8:06 to go. Sean Bannon will send 2 wide receivers to the near sideline. Keep it on the ground, and Russo trying to pick up yardage, but stopped by Mike Barry, the big tackle, along with Jim McKean. Well, they've got some size and some talent. McKean at 275, 6'3", and Barry 6'1", 260.
Larry Brady and George
shut holes down pretty quickly.
They certainly did that time. It was a interesting formation by St. John's. They opened up their offense a little bit there, tried to spread the defense and hit a crack. Didn't quite work that time.
3-yard pickup. Now Russo lines up as a wing to the right side as a flanker. First time we've seen that formation with him outside. They throw to the opposite side to Iadivio, and there's a flag on the play. Perhaps motion on the play. Maybe one of the backs was not set over there. Joe Zorak was putting pressure on the quarterback. Illegal procedure, the call, indicated by Larry Kukachka. Larry Brady is the captain.
Five-yard penalty.
So the walk-off brings the ball back to the 20-yard line. Negates the gain they had gotten before. Now Iadivio lines up wide to the right, the bottom of your screen. Russell Page will play him man-to-man. Iadivio, the second leading receiver. 2nd and 11 facing Sean Bannon. Russo slashes off the left side, won't get much. Look at that pile. Mike Barry hit him hard and brought down after maybe a gain of 1.
There's really nothing there. The defensive line simply shutting that one down pretty quick, and good pursuit by the rest of the Dutchmen flying in on the tackle.
Now Varick Boyd has come in, number 26 in the secondary, as he replaces one of the linebackers. George Tischler heads out, so they go with a nickelback situation here, expecting pass. Third and 9, long count here, maybe checking off Bannon.
Bannon
Gets some pressure. He's being chased on the near side, throws, and it may be picked off. What an effort by Jim McKean. Mike Barry also may have deflected it, but Mike Barry may have come up with the football too. Boy, the pressure was on, and there's a look at Mike Barry, the youngster from Cardinal Spellman High School in the Bronx, who's had 3 fumble recoveries and now comes up with an interception.
Now, Bannon was smart enough to recognize the problem, called for maximum protection, kept both backs in, still under pressure. You see the ball pop up. Look at the hustle, and a great catch by a lineman. Good hands.
Charlie Santinello, number 99, was putting the pressure on the quarterback. So let's see if Hofstra can take advantage with the turnover. Here's Joey Driver, the freshman, and he is hit as he gets to the 25-yard line. Pickup of around 4. Chris Carew, the freshman outside linebacker, number 46, brought him down, but a little celebrating on the sideline. Doesn't happen too often for those down linemen to come up with what?
To come up with an interception. You know, their life is all about tackles and sacks and talking about the trenches and how much blood they've got on their hands and stuff. That's a great thing to see them make a play.
Pickup of around 5 on the play. Moss to the sideline. Cuco's got it. Has the first down, driven down inside the 16-yard line. Steve Nieves and Nevin Mann drove him down, but a quick out to the sideline, and one of Moss's best passes when he throws that ball that way.
Well, you have to have a strong arm to do that. Just very precise passing, short route. The receiver just finds the bubble, is what they call it, the little open area in the zone, makes a catch. It's almost as safe as a run.
Cuco's second reception. He now has 40 on the year, second to Wayne Morris. Morris going in motion. On the ground to McGee, stumbles and dives forward inside the 10-yard line to around the 9. Boy, he made something out of nothing right there with some good balance.
He really did. You'll notice that about all of those guys. They're built kind of low to the ground, good balance, and he kind of did a crawling drill and picked up some good yardage.
I like that low center of gravity. Now, you're way up there at 6'4".
I know, and it's hard to knock those guys down when they're down like that. They do very well in this offense.
Second and short yardage here inside the 10. Barberite going in motion. Moss handing off. McGee slides off the right sideline, bounces off a couple of tackles, and let's see, is he in? No, on the 1-foot line. Out of bounds over there. Brian McGee looking for the touchdown, just driven down.
A great run. You know, didn't cover much yardage, but bounced off of people, good balance. You know, that work on the inside is very important for a running back. He really did it well there. Take a look at this. This is not a gimme. See, he's grabbed there. He's hit here. That's hit there, and almost he thought he got it in the end zone.
And he fumbled the ball, but his knee was down, of course. Cox trying to go through, and he's in. Mark Cox, he had a lot of pile heading through, and Mark Cox drove it home for his 5th rushing touchdown of the year, and Hofstra leads it by a score of 6-0. And part of the crowd here at Hofstra got to see the Flying Dutchman try for an undefeated season. Bob Bullard, who has been near perfect, 42 out of 43 extra points, will attempt one here. Polka's yellow is the holder. Good snap. And Bullard puts it up and through the uprights. It took a little while for Hofstra to get on track here, but they do score with 5:02 to go in this first quarter, take a 7-0 lead after Mark Cox cracked over from the 1-yard line.
A very matter-of-fact drive, very matter-of-fact play calling, just pushing the pile, using the strength of the running backs to forge their way forward. Nice touchdown there by Cox.
You saw Boudet over there, number 69, one of the blockers.
Now, you want to talk about an athlete? Take a look at this. Can you believe that?
You did that when you made some interceptions, didn't you, Beads?
Yeah, and it ended up the same result, me not quite completely.
That's a little easier when you're 5'9" to do that when you're 6'4", right? Dismount maybe a little weak.
We give him a 7.8.
Bob Rick's club falling behind, talking things over with his junior quarterback, Sean Bannon, who's struggled this year and Been a little nervous at times, a little jittery in certain situations, but Bob Ricker sticking with him. He has a freshman quarterback we'll probably see too that they're high on, Sean Sharkey.
Sean Sharkey is a good athlete and certainly should be the guy to watch for the future of this program. Coach Ricker's defense is not, you know, they're hanging in there. They almost made some plays. And the offense, I thought, very creative in some of the alignments that they were trying.
Good kickoff downfield, and Russo will take it to the 21, 22-yard line. Fired up special teams of Hofstra brings him down. And we'll have a 1st and 10 coming up here for the St. John's Redmen. Trailing in the ball game 7-0. Sean Bannon has the play, sent in from Bob Ricker. Well, Cox's 1-yard run capped that 5-play, 19-yard drive set up by the Barry interception. You know, and Beasley all year, Hofstra's defense has helped set up the offense here. Interceptions, fumble recoveries, big plays.
And once again, the nice interception on the sideline, putting the offense in great position for that score.
So Bannon barking out signals here. Single setback. Keep it on the ground now. It'll be a short pickup. Jim Scully on the tackle. And the ball carrier, Anthony Russo, the freshman out of nearby Plain Edge High School here in Long Island, who has 4.6 speed. Here's a look at George Tischler and the other defensive line. Larry Brady, 46. Not going to find a better trio of linebackers.
No, you're not. As a matter of fact, they've had some pro scouts snooping around campus, looking
across
at
the
these
street
guys.
from the Jet training camp, so and others.
They may get a shot. Some real talent.
Bannon screening it out, and they'll try a little flea flicker downfield looking for Jeff Long. Batted around, and Long comes up with a football.
Well, we have seen him jump over a lot of people. That's a good athlete. He's got great size, 6'2½".
Kevin Shanahan was the man who threw the football. So Bob Ricker pulling that one out, an unknown player to us, Beasley Reese.
Well, you know, Coach Ricker set that up by calling the quick screen earlier. The last time they called it, he just caught it and tried to run it, so he set it up perfectly. Now this is just balls in the air, 2 athletes, who's going to come up with it, and Long is the man there, just a super play.
However, the play is going to be negated on a penalty. And we'll see what the penalty is in just a moment. Illegal forward pass. I guess they're going to rule that it was not a lateral, that the initial pass was a forward pass.
So a great effort goes to North there.
27-yard gain.
Something I'm sure they worked on every day.
An illegal pass and also a loss of
So they lose the down. So not only is that hurt,
hurt.
they lose 27 yards plus the down and yardage to match.
And the psychological edge to, you know, something, you know, they worked on that play a lot in practice, and then for it to work and then not to get it, that hurt.
Iadivio will come out wide to the right at the bottom of your screen. You just see him on 3rd and 18. Keep it on the ground to Russo. They want to take a chance on a pass, and he's smothered as he got to the 16-yard line by Larry Brady, the 2-year captain, and Steve Javinsky coming up from the secondary, number 5. You know, we've seen Long make some outstanding catches earlier in the year, and he's a guy at 6'2" who will go up and fight for the ball, and good receiver.
He really is a good receiver, fun to watch. He's got a lot of nerve, too. We've seen him catch a lot of balls over the middle, get banged around a little bit, still comes up with it. Very competitive.
1st and 24, Castilli standing in the 5-yard line area. Line drives this one downfield. Driver will watch it bounce. Wisely didn't try to field that. It's a tough kind of ball to field on the run. And they'll get good field position anyway at the 44-yard line. 27-yard punt and no return. And Hofstra, with 3:31 to go in this first quarter, leading 7-0. Will take over 1st and 10.
27-yard punt.
Part of the excitement here at Hofstra. Is that the mascot, Bees?
I hope that's the mascot.
Part
Not
of
some guy just walking around.
Friend of yours?
Yeah, I'm a bird.
Part of the crowd here at Hofstra Stadium on a very lovely Friday night. Rain is held off. Bob Ricken checking the play calls over there. We're going to get a penalty. A clip.
On the play is called against the Dutchman.
So that will give St. John's a bit of a break here.
Yeah, what a break for St. John. You know, no return. It wasn't really a situation where somebody was trying to run the ball. That was one of those dumb penalty categories. Somebody will hear about that.
Well, let's see who's in at the running back situation here. Looks like it's McGee's turn right now, number 44, Brian McGee. Moss will throw on first down, sideline pattern over the head of Hugo, who has been the favorite receiver so far.
Now they have, you know, offensive coordinators call plays to set things up. We saw Coach Ricker's team calling the quick screen and then trying the quick screen and go. They have thrown that ball over just a short pattern into the flat 3 times now, Hofstra has. We can look for them to try to do a curl and go or out and go up the sideline at a crucial point in the game.
Moss is 2 for 8 in the early going here. And he wants timeout. Didn't like what he was seeing over there, and will call a timeout. Come to the sideline to talk things over. Don't forget, tomorrow here on Sports Channel, we'll be bringing you an exciting 1AA contest. The Fordham Rams taking on the high-flying Holy Cross Crusaders. And what a run-and-shoot team the Holy Cross Crusaders are, led by their fine quarterback, Mr. Chacho, and likes of Mike Lewis, wide receiver.
46 count. 46 count.
Rory Moss heading back onto the field, and it's been a slow start for Rory after the tremendous game last week, Bees, where he had 35 completions in 56 attempts. Set a school record for most completions, attempts, most yardage, 437. Of course, is closing in on Alan Squeary's touchdown record in one season. He needs 4 today.
Maybe his arm's a little sore. 437 yards.
35 completions, 56 pops. Millington in motion on second, or rather Morris in motion on 2nd and 10.
He's still audible.
He does that well this year. Now a little confusion. Morris didn't know where to go. And Murray says, a lot of confusion. I'll keep it myself. Fumbles the ball. Was he trying to pitch it? And St. John's thinks they've got it. We'll wait for the officials. It appears that it'll still be Hofstra ball, but a real mix-up on that play.
Yeah, and you know the bad part about that is the play was called on the sideline. They had plenty of time to talk about it. Rory walked the play back in, and then for it to end up like that'll make a coach crazy. Obviously, some alignment was not compatible with the play that they called. They tried to change it, didn't quite get it done.
Joe Gardy not very happy looking on the sideline. Millington now in the ballgame, number 49, as he goes in motion on 3rd and long yardage, 3rd and 12. Moss looking for Cocos Yellow. Gets away from the tackler, but will be shy of the first down. He dove, tried to hit the first down marker, but stopped about a yard shy. Milt Gasparis on the coverage there.
Well, he gave it everything he had to get that first down. He's got one of the best.
However, there's a personal foul added onto the play. That has to hurt St. John's because they had been able to force a possible punt here at midfield. Larry Kukachka running downfield. Should get the call from him.
Let's try to figure out what happened here. There's the hustle on the catch. He's down, and oh, that's obviously a little bit late, son.
So Hofstra with the break from the penalty now as the ball at the 35-yard line, leading 7-0, 2:22 to go first quarter. Moss with time, checking off as a man wide open up the middle, and it's complete to Frank Hugo. He's been the main receiver so far. Scott Biter stopping him, but not before he picked up about 13 or 14 yards and enough for a first down. So Frank Hugo, the senior from East Islip High School, where they produce some outstanding football players, most notably Boomer Esiason.
That's right. So true to their form, they are spreading this ball around a lot. Colangelo, Hugo.
1st and 10 for Hofstra. Barberite in motion. Moss going to be sacked, fumbles the football. It's picked up over here by Barberite. Barberite down the sideline and picks up about 7 yards on the play.
Now that's what happens when things are going right. And that's that same play they tried earlier. Very slow, deliberate fake. It hasn't worked twice. I bet we won't see that again. Now take a look at the fake here. No hurry, trying to hide the ball, expecting the lineman to follow the fake. and both times they've run it, the people have gone directly to the quarterback. We probably won't see that play again.
Frank Pawlowski saying, I did everything right. I make the tackle, sack the guy, he fumbles the football, and then we don't get
They'll pull that
loss.
page out of the playbook.
Tough break for St. John's defensively. Then Cox with a nice hold. Oh, my, he's in. Beautiful touchdown run of 17 yards for Mark Cox.
And Mark Cox, number 25, the running back, goes 17
Cox's second
yards.
touchdown run of the evening. And the high-flying Dutchmen now have opened up a 13-0 lead in the final minute of this first quarter.
Every decision on that run was the right decision. The perfect cut every time, almost untouched. It's a great run there by Cox.
One of 4 weapons in the backfield, each in their own way. An outstanding football player, Cox, Agofsky, McGee, and Driver. Bowler will boom this one through, and it's 14-0 as Mark Cox gets some congratulations on the sideline. His 6th rushing touchdown. He's going to be back next year for Joe Gardy. The only man who graduates of the running backs is Brian McGee.
And when it comes to decision-making on the run, take a look at this. Right choice and correct choice.
Jason Villar said, what happened?
Wow, great run.
And then on the end of the play, Milt Gaspara saying, did he get by me?
You never saw him. You know, interesting play calling by Hofstra. We're heading into the bad weather area.
You could see on our great camera angle there the hip movement, the real low center of gravity. Great angle. And Hofstra not doing it through the air, which they've been doing it all year, but we talked about the balance at the outset.
That's the point that I'm trying to make. You know, the weather's about to get bad. They're going into the playoffs. If you could just line up and run, these are things that they're working on here tonight.
Hofstra with 93 yards in the first quarter to St. John's 16. As the ball booted downfield by Walter Olshansky. And they'll bring it upfield. And bringing it up is Sandy Rosenberg, number 15, a backup quarterback. Vince Gallion bringing him down. So the Redmen will try to get things on track here. As it took 6 plays, 60 yards, a little more than 2.5 minutes for Hofstra to up their lead. Mark Cox with his 2nd touchdown run, and that's about the usual amount of time they take, about 2.5 minutes when they score.
And that's one of the fun things about this offense is that you get your money's worth when you come to watch these guys play. Like you said, about every little over 2 minutes, they get a score on the board.
There was a penalty against Hofstra, which has been refused. It's a kick, so it's 1st and 10. Working out of the I formation, Robinson is the fullback. Tailback is Anthony Russo.
Go, Tish!
Russo behind Robinson, tries to slide off the left side of the line, but too much penetration in the backfield by that very quick Hofstra line. And Tischler, one of the men on the tackle, and there's Mark Cox. Joe Zorat also in on that last tackle.
Cox obviously very satisfied with his effort and his team's effort right now. It's going to be very difficult to run against Hofstra, utilizing 4 down linemen, 4 good, very quick down linemen. It's a tough defense to run against.
Russo has gained 12 yards and 6 carries. This could be the final play of the first quarter. And to throw. Has time. Out for Iadivio, and he just couldn't catch up as he was being defended on the play by Russell Pager. Lobbed that one out, and the clock stops with 7 seconds left. Bannon is 0 for 3 and has thrown that 1 interception that Mike Barry came up with on the deflection.
And you know, that was not a completed pass, but a very good throw, high over the outside shoulder. If it was not to be completed, it would not be intercepted. It was thrown away from the defender. Bannon's he's got a good arm.
Hofstra goes back into the nickelback formation. Javinsky, number 5, comes in as an extra defensive back, replacing Larry Brady. Bannon has some running room. He's not a good runner, and he's driven down by Javinsky. As he comes up quickly from the secondary, closed quickly and made the stop. He's filling in for John Zankin. So that should be the final play. It is the final play of the first quarter. The score, Hofstra 4. Rob Castilli in to do the kicking. 8 men up at the line of scrimmage. Hofstra appears to have a return going here. Castilli drives it downfield. Cox at the 31-yard line. Good coverage by the special team. Look at him trying to pull away. He just kept that foot going. A 34-yard punt, a 3-yard return. Mike Cunningham, the good-looking linebacker, brought him down. So it'll be 1st and 10 for Hofstra as they take over, leading in the ball game by a score of 14-0. Well, there you see the points by quarter for the Flying Dutchman. Slow starters, Beasley, 67 in the first quarter, but watch out after that.
Well, that means we're about to see something. Third quarter, they pick it up, and the fourth.
Well, they kind of wear you down. They run the football on occasion, and we've seen them run it on more than an occasion tonight. Millington in motion. Handing off to Hagowski. Big hole, turns the corner, and Hagowski bulls his way to the sideline for about 8 yards. Clock is running. He was stopped by number 57, Scott Biter, over there.
I'll tell you, it's easy to call plays when you can do things like that on first down. You set up a 2nd and 1. Now they can do anything. They can throw a bomb. They can try anything at 2nd and 1.
Joe Gardy talking to the folks upstairs here. Former Jet assistant, spent 5 years in the NFL office working with the officials. 2nd and 1. Keep it on the ground for Hagowski, and I don't think he made it. No, they shut the play down very quickly. The middle of that line, Mike Cunningham, and also coming up quickly was Chris Carew, the linebacker. So it'll set up a 3rd and short play as Hofstra makes a change right now. Number 35, Bill Masterson, comes in the ball game. He'll come in as a tight end and replace Ray Barberite, number 22. Let's see what Moss does here on 3rd down. Here's the pitch. Hagowski has the 1st down, tripped up. Otherwise, he had a full head of steam going. Rich Colangelo got him around the ankle, but he was heading to the races, Mr. Hagowski.
No, he had no intention of slowing down.
Out of Jackson, New Jersey, the 5'11", 200-pound sophomore.
And, man, he hit this hole. This is what you call hitting the hole. He hit it going full speed. Somebody just barely got the ankle right there, or he might be still running.
He's an excellent runner. Throwback to a different era, you know, the Jim Taylor kind of era. Just give me that football. Those high cleats. And try it again, Hagowski. Hit hard, but able to push forward. Hit hard by Scott Biter. He drove Biter for an extra yard.
I'm already pulling that play out of the Washington Redskins playbook. That's the old counter. They pull both linemen from the backside. A very complicated play, but works very well for the Redskins. Works pretty good there.
Hagowski has carried the ball 7 times for 34 yards. 2nd and about 5. Rory Moss kept the ball on the ground. Brian McGee is the running back now. Moss looking to throw, sideline pattern off the hands of Cuco. A little high, but Cuco usually comes up with him. Brian McGee was blocking.
That's that same play that we've seen thrown. That's the 4th time they've attempted it. They've completed it twice. He's like a safety valve. He looks downfield. If nothing's there, he knows that he's got Coco or Cuco just kind of lining up on the sideline for a 4 or 5 yard gain. It's a little safety valve. Nothing deep. Pop it over to the sideline.
Wayne Morris has come out of the ball game. Morris has not been thrown to, nor has he obviously caught a ball. Got a man in motion. Number 87, Mike Scheibe. He'll stay on the ground to McGee. He's got the 1st down and more. Tripped up as he got to the 31-yard line. Enzo Grady, one of the men on the tackle, along with Scott Kantrowitz, number 30.
It took all 3 defensive backs to bring him down. All of those guys are short, tight, strong, and that's a nightmare to see somebody running full speed. I mean, nobody slowed him down. Nobody knocked him off balance. It's like a nightmare to see that guy coming at you. Good thing all 3 of them were there to help out.
Now McGee lines up behind Rory Moss and the 4 wide receivers. Morris going in motion. He's been the favorite target. Looking perhaps for Morris. He's opened up the middle, but instead they go to the sideline. And it'll be a diving attempt complete to Cuco, who's been the guy they've been looking for all night.
That's the little safety valve. He's looking downfield for a big play. If nothing's there, he just takes the safety valve. See him looking, looks left, nothing, nothing. Okay, let me go to my safety valve. Right to the sideline.
Now, Beasley,
completion.
earlier in the year, Rory Moss might have thrown that ball into traffic and thrown an interception.
Now he's taking what the defense gives him, and that's why everything is looking good. His numbers, his stats for the season are really looking good.
Only 14 interceptions and almost 300 passes. Here's McGee, has a blocker. Boudet out there, goes outside behind that block, and will pick up the first down. Run down by Milt Gasparis. But McGee having that speed to go outside and pick up the first down. Kind of interesting to show the balance of Hofstra. They've passed for 31 touchdowns, which is an amazing number in its own right, yet they've run for 25 touchdowns, so almost even.
Right. It's balanced.
After 16, it's 1st and 10.
Hofstra with 11 first downs, 8 rushing. And St. John still looking for its first. As you see the defensive back, Milt Gasparis, getting ready to go one-on-one. Moss with time, drills it complete to Cuco once again. And Cuco inside the 10 and around the 8-yard line. Picks up about 8 yards. Jason Villar, the safety on the tackle.
Now, for young receivers at home watching this game, Cuco ran back toward the quarterback, running away from defenders, and that's why the ball is rarely intercepted when you're throwing to a guy like him, because if you stand there, the defenders have a shot. That's a veteran move by the receiver, coming back to the football.
He's one of the senior receivers along with Colangelo. Morris in motion on 2nd and short yardage. Moss shoveling it off. Here's Cox looking for his 3rd touchdown. He's got it. So Mark Cox catching the touchdown pass, that little shovel pass, and he goes in for the touchdown, his first touchdown receiving this year, and Rory Moss picks up another touchdown through the air, closing in on the record.
Very crisp offensive execution. Kind of a middle screen, half shuffle, half screen to the inside.
St. John's has an injured player, one of their star linebackers, Rich Colangelo. He's down on the field in the end zone being helped up, and will be helped off the field right here as play is stopped for the moment. Colangelo, 5'11", 205-pound senior from Monsignor Farrell High School, one of the blood and guts guys on the team. Real spark plug. Number 2 tackler. And he is helped off the field, and we get set for the extra point here. Bob Bullard, who's been perfect, 2 for 2. Will try for 3 for 3. So the Hofstra offense, which was kind of stalled in that first quarter, has come alive here in the second quarter. Colangelo to do the holding. John Zankin, normally the holder, but he's been out. Good snap. And it's through the uprights. The snapper, Chris Fryer. Kochka indicates we've got extra point. So the Flying Dutchman averaged 47 points a game, now with 21, and we have 10:48 to go in this first half.
And take a look at this. It starts with sucker blocks by the offensive linemen. They let the defense think that they're beating them.
Mark Cox having his best game of the season so far. The young man from Amesbury, Massachusetts, as we look at it once again.
Notice the execution just works perfectly. He's got blockers out front, drives his way in for the touchdown. Number 3.
The man who might have gotten suckered in a little bit was Vince O'Grady, the linebacker, who's probably had the coverage on the running back there.
That's right. That's right.
So you saw number 39, a little bit too far in on the play.
It's a difficult thing to tell, you know. You think you're beating the guy, and then you read screen. You hope that one of the defensive backs, somebody yells screen to kind of alert you a little bit.
So O'Grady looked a little more relaxed there.
Oh, yeah.
After those last 2 touchdowns. Broadway, the freshman out of North Babylon, who's a good return man, will get it to around the 30-yard line. Brought down after he picked up about 7 or 8 yards by Larry Brady. Kind of interesting. These guys, the big stars, they, like Larry Brady and the others, want to stay on the field. They're on the special teams as well. 10 plays, 67 yards. This time it took 4 minutes, and it's now 21-0 as Cox catches the 8-yard touchdown pass from Rory Moss. Now with 21 TD passes. A look at the new quarterback in the game, and that is Sean Sharkey, the freshman from nearby Valley Stream. Sharkey throwing on the run and incomplete. He was looking for number 10 downfield, and it went incomplete. Jimmy Salgado was the man on the coverage over there.
It's the second time Salgado has gotten his hand on the football. He's going to pick one off if he keeps that up.
And the number 10 that he was throwing for was a former Hofstra backup quarterback to Rory Moss last year, Andy Ryan. Quite a story there. Ryan transferring, going to St. John's, and coming back against his former teammates. Ryan now has come out of the ball game at tight end. Sharkey, big boy at 6'2", 180. Has only completed 29% of his passes this year, but has thrown 5 touchdowns. He was 0 for 1 against Georgetown last week. Sharkey throwing for the sideline for long, incomplete. Salgado was defending. A little pressure from George Tischler, the linebacker. This Hofstra defense has 36 sacks this year. Not been doing much blitzing tonight.
No, 18 interceptions now. It's the one that they picked up tonight.
And 13 fumble recoveries. That'll give an offense a lift when you get them the ball. That's what happened on the first St. John's drive. Pass picked off. And Hofstra able to convert it into a touchdown. 3rd and 10. Sharkey chased by Tischler. He got away. Ringo and chasing him now. Sharkey, a good runner, down. And a flag is also on the play. Mike Barry finally brought him down. Sharkey, a real fine athlete, a raw athlete. Rolls out much quicker than Sean Bannon.
He throws on the run well, and that's probably the reason for him going into the game. Move the pocket left and right, just try to make something happen.
Penalty is against St. John's. Hofstra will undoubtedly decline the penalty and force the punt. See the discussion going on over there. Jim Scully, one of the captains, clipping. And it is declined. This will be the 3rd punt coming for Castilli, the freshman, who has averaged about 37 yards in his kicking early here, replacing Iandivio. Back at the 20. Off just 10 men at the line. They come, but he gets it away. Not a bad kick. Sailing back to Cox at the 29-yard line. 40. Well, he's got the feet moving tonight, doesn't he? Oh, Cox putting on a show as he gets up to the 49-yard line, brought down by Pat Costello, number 81.
Well, this could be his night. 3 touchdowns, a nice return.
37-yard punt and a nice 19-yard return.
Now take a look at this thing. Lonely place to be right here. Good balance. Look at that cut. Now here, this is impressive. Look at that. He fell for maybe 12 yards.
Well, you got that kind of balance. Moss sends a man in motion, Wayne Mars. First down pass coming up here, complete. Fumbled for the moment there, but held on to by the receiver, Scott Millington. Coming up with a reception, his 20th of the year. He's been really coming on of late. Big, strong, fast kid. They call him the Warrior. Vince O'Grady and Jason Villar on the tackle.
Now, Millington did the same thing that we talked about Coco Ziello doing, so that's obviously coaching. The receiver comes back toward the football. After he runs his pattern, runs to the quarterback. That time, because he was running forward, he almost dropped the ball, but just that's good coaching. You see all the receivers doing the same thing.
Millington had a big game last week. 8 catches, 121 yards, and a touchdown against Wagner. Coco-Ziello could not hang on to that sideline pass. Set up a 2nd down play. Chris Carew, the linebacker, was over there defending. So it stops the clock with 9:25 to go. Coming up at halftime, Carl Reuter will be chatting with Jim Garvey, the fine athletic director here, and we'll find out about the playoff situation as far as Division III is concerned. And we've got other features coming up at halftime. Here's the running back, Driver, being taken down as he catches inside the 35-yard line to the 34. Rich Colangelo on this stop.
It was the counter tray again, pulling the lineman from the backside. The reason that play works so well is that the linebackers to the side the play is intended to be run don't see the blocking coming. So it's kind of a delayed reaction. It usually works pretty good.
Here's a look at Jason Villar, fine athlete in the secondary. Scott Millington has come out of the ball game. Now Millington back in. There he goes in motion, replacing Ray Barbart on 3rd and 4. Driver. And the freshman stopped close to the first down. Had to get to the 30. I think they got him down about a half-yard shy. Scott Biter bringing him down. But they talk about Joey Driver being the fastest, the most natural running back of all here. 5'10", 190 pounds.
It's hard to get playing time when you're in the backfield as talented. I mean, they've got so many good, talented guys there.
4th and 1. They call him a little jackhammer. 5'10", 190. Stays in the ball game, and he'll get the call here. And he just gets enough for the first down. Tripped up as he got to the 29 by Chris Carew. And the nose of that football just inside 30. And that's enough for Joey Driver. So every one of their 4 running backs has had at least 1 series in this first quarter and first half. Let's go down to the field, and here's Carl Reuter.
Barry, I just came over from the St. John's sidelines where I spoke to number 12 of St. John's, Jason Villar, and I said, how good is Hofstra? He said, well, they're very good. He said, they're big and strong, but most importantly, they're fundamentally sound, and when you don't make mistakes, you win a lot of football games, he told me.
Rory Moss throwing for 6, and Cuco could not get it. Deflected at the last moment by Nevin Mann.
That was a great defensive play. I mean, he was wide open and then just out of nowhere running full speed extended. I tell you, that's the kind you dream about. Look how Rory looks off the defenders, looking to the opposite side of the field. That's why the safety's out of position. That's why he comes close, but look at that play by number 19, just diving in there, Nevin Mann, with a great effort.
It sure was an outstanding effort for the junior.
The ball floated on Rory just a little bit, but a great look off.
He's going to go again to the air, throwing to the sideline. Millington with the comeback reception at the 20. Very close to the first down. Rich Colangelo, the linebacker, covering.
You got to be confident to do the things that Rory's doing now. I mean, you don't. That's something you develop all season long. The courage to look away from the direction you have to throw the ball. You got to know that that's going to pull the safety over just a little bit and open up the seam that you're trying to hit. And that comes with confidence and a season of success.
Undoubtedly. And let's see if they picked it up. It appears they did by the nose of the football. You know, here's a quarterback, obviously, in a game like tonight where they're expected to, when he comes out, shaky, he's not throwing, and that's been a history so far this year. Now his numbers are up to 9 for 18. I think he had missed on about 7 or 8 of his first passes. It was 1 for 8, something like that.
And then all of a sudden, the numbers look, you know, they catch up with themselves. That's just
success
like
breeds success.
That's right. That's confidence, and a successful season, you settle in.
Hofstra leading 21-0 over St. John's. 7:25 to go here in the first half. Looking deep for Colangelo, and just over his head. Milt Gasparis was back there. Colangelo needs 1 more reception to break the all-time record for most touchdown catches in a career here at St. John's. And Moss was trying to give him that chance there. Colangelo comes out wide to the top of your screen. As Morris goes in motion.
Second down.
Nice catch by Millington. And Millington out of bounds as he gets inside the 10 and around the 8-yard line. Milt Gasparis ran him down, but a nice catch by Millington as he ran away from the defender there. That angle there was tough for the defender to catch up to him.
It was tough. He put his hands up, caught it with nothing but hands, and then ran toward it looked like he was running right at the stick, trying to get as close to that first down as possible.
Millington has caught 3 passes for 32 yards, and here we're talking about a game that Wayne Morris, the man who has 48 catches, hasn't had any so far tonight. Right. The guy who was their game breaker.
They spread the ball around here, but that is strange for Wayne not to have touched it yet at all.
First and goal inside the 10-yard line. All about the 9.5. McGee Gets the block there and dives close to the goal line. Got a nice block for number 69, Greg Boudet. Brought down by Jason Villar around the 2. So Brian McGee, who has rushed for 5 touchdowns, deceptively quick, led the team in '89 in rushing with 628 yards. This year, with the switch from the wing T to the run and shoot, hasn't gained nearly that many yards. He's carried 8 times for 59 yards, so his average is excellent today. McGee diving and he's in. Brian McGee makes it 27-0. And McGee with 6 touchdowns rushing this year. Used to this. Yeah, floating all that much there. Well, it's old hand.
They kind of expect it. You know, that's one of those touchdowns that you give to the offensive lineman. They obviously hit the defensive lineman down low, forcing them to put their hands down, to fall down, you know, cut them down, so that it's just an easy little dive.
Mark Cox holding this time, and Bullard's kick is perfect. Well, Bullard's had a lot of practice this year with all the touchdowns he scored. This young man has kicked 4 tonight, 46 out of 47 to Joe Gardy. And Joe's team, after a slow start, has a 28-0 lead with 6:59 to go. There are some fans enjoying the action.
Watch the offensive lineman blocking. Just pushing. Wow. There's nothing there. They just pushed everything out of the way.
I might have even scored on that one.
Well, Bear. Not so fast.
So it'll be Hofstra to kick it off. And again, a reminder for you football fans on Sports Channel tomorrow afternoon at 1, we'll be up at Rose Hill as the Fordham Rams, who have developed a pretty good offense under their quarterback, Gary Brennan. They're throwing the ball a lot better these days, taking on a club that is one of the top teams in Division 1AA, the Holy Cross Crusaders, with their exciting run and shoot offense. Hope you'll be tuned in. Beasley and I and Carlwood will be on hand at 1 o'clock here on Sports Channel. On the return, Vince O'Grady. And he brings it out to the 34-yard line as he was brought down by Joey Driver. Here's Brian McGee. And I'm ready for action. But you know, when you rotate so many outstanding men, they're fresh when they come in, they're ready to go. As McGee capped that drive, 11 plays, 51 yards with that 1-yard run. And it took 2:54. So again, under 3 minutes for the touchdown drive. Sean Bannon back in at quarterback right now. And Russo trying to get tough yardage there, but nothing doing. Tischler just filled the hole. In that defense, that 4-3 swarming defense, it's key for the linebackers to make most of the tackles there. You look at the linebackers, not only they're great players, but they're set to make those tackles. There you see Jim Scully. We haven't talked about Scully, but what a year he's had. Moved from running back, where he was the 2nd leading rusher last year, to defensive end, and he's got 11.5 sacks this year.
Let's go, baby, let's go. Hey, Jimmy, watch the trickery out here now. Let's go.
2nd and 8 for St. John's. Bannon with good time, drilling it for Long. Fine catch up near midfield. Well thrown ball, and Long with the good sure hands comes up with the reception.
Well, we talked about him catching the ball on the inside. He's got the type of courage that allows a big guy to go in there and take the catch here. Going to him all the way, just a hard throw. He's got to get there quick because people are all around. Good throw, good catch.
Javinsky was the man on the coverage. Jeff Long, the leading receiver on this ball club. Little mix up there. Russo almost collided and paid the price there on that little half step.
Folded him up.
Mr. Tischler and company, Mr. Ring Owen, 56.
It's going to be very tough to run in that middle. You've got 4 good, talented defensive linemen, and they're knocking people down and holding them off of the kind of linebackers that these guys have. It's real tough. It's tough to run into.
Nobody has run effectively against this team all year. They have given up only 80 yards a game to the opposition. Bannon on 2nd and long. With time, throwing. Iadivio couldn't get it. And his teammate almost came up with the ball, trying to come up with it, was Andy Ryan, number 10. He said, well, it's up for grabs.
Let
Why
me
not?
go get it. Yeah, that was close.
Ryan said, I thought I was going to get it. 6 foot 190-pounder. Who played at St. Agnes High School. Joe Gardy.
Take a look at this thing. They try to go back to get some more in the middle. Now, their defenders are all over this thing. They're hitting everywhere. Balls in the air. That's going to attract some people.
Well, Ringo really hit him.
Taking a ride, didn't he? Jumped on him for a ride.
3rd and 10. And then nearly runs into Russo. Rose, it's going to be picked off over here by Ringoen. Ringoen at the 40. Gets one tackler and is down at around the 40-yard line. So Eric Ringoen comes up with his first interception of the year, brought down by Iadivio. And this Hofstra defense now has picked off 19 passes this year. One reason why they're posing interest in this guy, for a big guy, he can motor.
That's right. Now, this 1 inch higher, this is a great completion. Good jump, great extension, good catch. I tell you, this guy can do it all. He can hit 6'3", 230 pounds, a little running ability there. Couldn't get away from that, though. Oh, man.
Joe Gardy had told us he's excellent at pass coverage. Has a bit of a hamstring. Maybe that's slowed him down a little bit. Complete upfield, and Wayne Morris finally comes up with his first. So don't check that. The reception was made by Steve Ablandi, number 7. The 5'11" sophomore, transfer from Colorado University. Milt Gasparis on the coverage. So everybody getting into the act here.
Everybody getting in the act. Now, Rory Moss threw a major big league pass there. Running, a little bit off balance, and still nothing but zip on the football. That's what makes him so dangerous. I mean, he can just turn and flick it.
Blondie, a sophomore, that's his 5th reception of the year. Inside flip here to Millington, and he spun around and dropped. Loss on that play. So they tried that little counter, and Ray Lambright, freshman defensive end, was there, along with Mike Cunningham, number 59.
Well, one thing you can say about the St. John's defense is they have sniffed out most of the tricky type plays. The long delay fakes, flea flicker type they've done a good job at that, staying at home and hustling.
And you get the long range view as going in motion is Millington. Moss to throw, but a whistle. Flag, the play will not go. Clock stops with 4:03 to go. Maybe a delay of game here. Illegal procedure is the call by Larry Kukachka against Hofstra. So that'll make it 2nd and long yardage here. 2nd and about 16. Well, Rory Moss has broken just about all the records here at Hofstra for a single season. Going after some career records. The guy whose records he broke for a single season was a pretty good football player by the name of Don Galt. Got a shot in the pros with the Denver Broncos. Moss with time. Plenty of time. Up the middle. And it's complete to Millington. Dragged down inside the 15-yard line by Rich Colangelo. So Scott Millington, who has become a prime receiver in the last couple of ball games. Big, strong kid from Maine. He was a defensive back at the beginning of the year.
And that was a nice throw, nice catch. All of the receivers are just streaking down the field. Rory basically picking and choosing. When he runs to the right, he moves the safety over just a little bit, turns back and just drops it right in the slot. Perfect spot.
Millington coming in motion. Moss looking in the end zone, throws it in traffic. Millington was the intended receiver shy of the goal line. Milt Gasparis got a hand on it. He was over there.
Rory lucky to get away with that one. That was one of those shots in a big crowd.
Scott Waite, also the young freshman, was in on the play. Vince O'Grady now is hurt and heads to the sideline in severe pain. He's being helped by a couple of his teammates over there. Didn't see how he got hurt, but he is in some kind of pain as they take him to the bench on the far side. Right now it is 2nd down and 10 to go. O'Grady, a junior, number 3 tackler, as Moss looking to put 6 more on the board here on 2nd down. Shovels it again, and Hagoski will get inside the 5. There is a flag, however, on the play. Jason Villar brought him down.
That's the same play that Cox scored on earlier.
Officials are conferring over there.
Mike Carter, number 61, the tackle.
3:08 to go in this first half. Carl Rutter coming up at halftime with an in-depth look at Jim Garvey, the athletic director here at Hofstra University. One of the outstanding basketball and football officials in the past. And Carl will also be chatting with Butch Van Bredekoff. There's O'Grady being attended to on the sideline. And he was in some kind of pain as they helped him to the sideline. What a gutsy kid this guy is. Leader and inspirational player. Leads the team with 13 sacks this year. Now the penalty will be walked off against Hofstra here. Back to the 27-yard line.
You know, for this type of offense, that's not that bad of a deal to back up and have a little more room. Most of the NFL teams that have gone to the run and shoot are failing in the 20-yard line in area. It's tough for a run and shoot in that area.
That red zone, as they like to call it.
That's right.
Let's see what Moss will do here. Drills it complete downfield, and again, Cuco is the man who gets the reception, but it's way shy. It'll set up a field goal opportunity for Bobby Bullard, who missed one earlier from about 47 yards. Scott Biter on the coverage. And Cuco has been their leading receiver so far in the night. And this may be the most in his career. Now he's got 6, which he did twice this year. Most he's had is 7 in one game. 37-yard attempt. Colangelo to hold. Good snap. Bullard's kick looks like it's got the legs, and it is good. So Bobby Bullard driving it through, and Hofstra ups its lead to 31-0 with 2:31 to go in this first half. Bullard now 13 for 17 field goals, and with that field goal, he has now tied the school record for most field goals in a career. Had a history of fine kickers here at Hofstra. Bobby Bullard adds to that history. Bullard getting congratulations on the sideline. Smiling teammate over there, number 41, Jim Fiore, defensive back. Little guy at 5'7". Shows a place for the little guy here.
Oh, yeah. Just has to be bigger than the ball.
Couple of... There's Coach Bob Ricka. And what do you do in this spot, Beasley, with 2:31 to go?
Well, right now, he probably just wants to survive right where it is and take that into the locker room and see what they can talk about, see what the other coaches have noticed.
Kantrowitz fumbles the football on the return, and Hofstra thinks they've got it, and they haven't. So Scott Kantrowitz on the return, fumbling the football. And let's see as they unpile who will have the credit for the fumble recovery. It's Barrick Boyd, number 26.
Well, he lets us know who got the ball.
Boyd, a junior from Newburgh, New York. And we'll take a look at the fumble.
Well, we talked about surviving. This is exactly what Coach Ricker did not want to take into the locker room. This feeling, but just tough, hard tackling there. Hit him at just the right angle to pull it out.
Rory Moss handing off, and Hagoski slammed hard to the ground. A little frustration there. Scott Biter hitting him hard along with Rich Colangelo. And Hofstra with 2:13 to go. Bob Ricker saying, I'd love to get out of this half with no more points scored. It's 31-0. We've got an injured player down on the field for Hofstra. Looks to be Bill Masterson, the defensive, the split end and tight end. And he's being worked on right now as the clock is stopped. Bill played a lot of defense last year, but with Hofstra having so many players, so much depth, they've been able to move people around, like Scully, second leading rusher, moved to defense where he's been awesome this year. A couple of other games are being played tonight in Division III football. We hope to have some scores for you. Iona at FDU Madison. Elder trying to bounce back from that tough loss against Kings Point last week, and Wagner finishing a disappointing season at William Patterson. Second down for Rory Moss, and 8. Morris in motion. It's time to go to the sideline again. Complete. Pulling away is Joey Driver, I believe. No, it's Colangelo, or rather Cuco. Frank Cuco on the catch. Scott Waite on the coverage.
Frank with some good moves after the catch there. This is a pattern they've been really working well. Little curl patterns. Nothing open. We talked about that. Goes to his safety valve and a nice spinning move. He does that move very well. That little stutter keeps him from getting knocked out. It makes the defensive guys stop for just a second.
They regard Cuco as a Steve Largent type receiver. Those short passes he'll hang on to. Moss has his hand knocked as he was trying to make the pass, as it was knocked down by, I believe, by Chris Carew. Number 46 was coming in. Oh, the clock stops with 1:40 to go. Moss says, my finger's okay there. Millington checks into the ball game as Cavanaugh will leave. Colangelo lines up wide to the top of your screen. Morris will go in motion. Cuco with single coverage to the bottom of your screen. And a quick pattern complete to Millington. Millington inside the 10-yard line. Stopped by Rich Colangelo and Steve Nieves. But Millington now with 6 catches, so he and Cuco have been the main men, so to speak, tonight. Cuco has caught 7 passes for 66 yards. So Colangelo and Morris have not had too many balls thrown their way. Box set back in motion, 1:08 to go in this first half. 3rd down and 5. They'll give it to McGee. McGee, second effort, and he's at the goal line, and he's in. Boy, Brian McGee with that second effort bounced off a tackle and scores the touchdown. And Hofstra continues to roll it up now. They lead 37-0 with 57 seconds to go in the first half. Most points that Hofstra has scored this year, 65 points against Albany. Bullard to try the extra point. And this one looks good as he drills it right between the uprights. Congratulations on the sideline.
Simply more of the same. Good hard inside running, good blocking. Look at the center working there. And after being stopped, a nice 360 and good extension, good effort, takes the ball and breaks the play.
Nice block by Rich Salgado, number 63, to open up the hole, the right guard. Let's give credit to those linemen, Rich Salgado, Steve Chernaski, Greg Boudet, Leaf Shea, all opening up some pretty good holes. It was one of the question mark areas a little bit, and I guess the secondary as far as this team was concerned, and they've answered the questions.
So far played it very well. When they've challenged the secondary, it's been Salgado getting his hands on a couple of balls. They've had some nice knockdowns, so they have answered the call tonight.
57 seconds left in this first half. As Hofstra has exploded here in the second half for a lot of points. Russo will chase it on the far side, fields it at around the 10 to the 20. Fumbles the football and fortunately falls on it. And upset with himself for fumbling that ball.
Fumbled again.
51 seconds to go in the first half. Is Joe Gardy, was it poly seeds, or what is Joe eating over there with Bern Gamble? 5 plays, only 27 yards is the distance they had to go. Eric Boyd's recovered fumble following the kickoff, and the Bolton field goal made it 38-0. Sean Bannon back in at quarterback.
Go to the house! Go to the house!
Working out of the eye. Russo behind Robinson, tries to turn it outside, but speed of Eric Ringo and just ran the play down. You know,
you put it exactly there. That was simply, it looked like it was going to be set up where Russo could get something going to the outside, but the team speed of Hofstra's defense just overcoming anything they were trying to put together there.
Ring Owen has 4.65 speed. Reminds Coach Joe Gardy of Lance Mel, one of the linebackers he coached on the Jets.
There.
Gave him that number 56. That's the same number. Lance Mel, of course, won.
Get it, Ringo!
Stage Russo jumped back at the 30. No hole at all. George Tischler, the leading tackler with 108 tackles, made the stop. 24 second quarter points for Hofstra, and they head to the locker room with, as expected, a big lead, 38-0. As the two teams will head to their respective dressing rooms. I want to remind you, tomorrow will be on hand at Hofstra at
All right, thanks, Barra. Coach, they're steamrolling.
Paul, they're doing right now what they've done all year. They're just they're an excellent football team. You know, obviously, same thing they've done to everyone else that they're doing to us. What we have to do is just I hope they interpret the rules the same way we do as far as Division III and see what happens from here.
All right, does pride have to take over now in the second half?
Well, yeah, it does, but, you know, the kids are worn down already and beaten up and whatever, so they're playing with pride, and they'll continue to play with pride.
Thanks for coming over. I know it was tough. Good luck second half.
Okay. Thank you, Paul.
All right, Coach Bob Ricker of St. John's, his team goes off trailing by the score of 38-0. Remember, Hofstra trying to make it a 10-0 season. When we come back,
I think had probably fallen a little bit on hard times. And during the first year or two, we had the good fortune of being able to hire a proven basketball Hofstra football and worry about the playoffs.
I lived down south for a while and I got to like it. But then everybody says, you know, the 4 seasons, so I'll go along with it. You know, you like to change the seasons.
all right, the ball has been out of the closet now for, I guess, a good 3 weeks. You're going to kick it off with an exhibition game, and then November 24th, you're going to be away at Manhattan. How does the team look this year, Butch?
Everybody keeps asking me that, and I start to look at them, see whether they're good-looking guys or not. You know, we're about where we should be at this stage.
Thing they wanted to do.
It's amazing that they lead 38-0 because it was 7-0 late in the first quarter, and at times they looked very tight.
Well, it looked like Hofstra was going to survive a couple of early tests by St. John's, especially the Redmen defense. But after a while, just that constant pressure, finally the breakdown, and then score after score after score.
They are talent-laden. When you take a look at the halftime numbers on the board, 38-0. The halftime numbers show that Hofstra is in charge.
Well, it's total dominance. If this was a boxing match, they'd throw the towel in. Take a look at what happened on first down. A 20-1 advantage. Clear advantage in rushing and passing. Total yards, take a look at that. 322 to 38 in the mistake category. 3 turnovers for St. John's. That'll kill you. And look at the time of possession, 20 minutes. The ball is in the hands of the Hofstra offense, and when that happens, and they score about a little under every 3 minutes, you know you're going to get some numbers on the board.
You talk about scoring, and what an explosion in that first half. First, we'll see Mark Cox. Now, this is one of 3 touchdowns he had in the first half.
Well, it was Mark Cox's day, I guess. He came out, did very well on special teams. Take a look at the decision-making here, the right cut, and the right cut right there. It's almost like he was invisible, untouched. Just a great run and kind of accentuating exactly what he did in that first half, a great contribution.
Brian McGee also chipping in for the Hofstra Flying Dutchman. This, one of 2 scores in the first half for number 44, McGee.
Well, here you got to credit this one with the offensive line. They just pushed everybody out of the way. McGee, anybody in these stands could have scored on that one. Just a great job by the offensive line. Great play calling by the Hofstra team. They're not trying to come out here and embarrass anybody. They've kept the ball on the ground. They're pushing St. John. It's really a challenge of offensive versus defensive lines, and Hofstra obviously with the clear advantage.
It will be very interesting to see when Joe Gardy might start substituting, bring in some of the second and third stringers now.
Well, I'm quite sure that we'll see a lot of people play here in this second half. Like I said, you can tell by the pattern of the first half that Coach Gardy was being respectful, and they weren't doing anything crazy, just running the ball, controlling the clock, and doing what they had to do to ensure the victory number 10.
Well, second half upcoming. You've got a big crowd to fight your way back upstairs, but Beasley will get up there and join Barry Landis for all the second half action right after this timeout. Stay with
It's not going to happen to me.
It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
Not going to happen to me.
I was really shocked when I found out I was infected. I didn't think anything like this could ever happen to me.
H.I. what?
I don't know anyone that has it.
Do I look like I would have it?
You can't tell by looking at someone if they have HIV. I look healthy. I feel good. But yet I'm very infected.
Too busy.
I don't think about it.
Not a day goes by that I don't think about the fact that I have HIV.
I just got married. I'm married.
I got the virus from my husband. I didn't know he was a drug user.
It's not a big deal.
I've lost my home, my wife, my business.
Only certain
people get it.
People don't typically think of me as the type of person who would have HIV, but I do.
I just want it to go away.
I just want it to go away.
Basically, I just want to live. That's the most important thing to me.
You could be putting yourself at risk. Call 1-800-342-AIDS.
Right now down to the field, the senior awards are being handed out. Brian McGee and Larry Brady and the mayor of Hempstead. Gentleman in the middle there handing out the awards, part of an annual ceremony. And you see Dr. Sheward shaking hands there, the president of Hofstra University and a former Hofstra University football player. Back in the days when Bob DePoto's dad played football at Hofstra. Bob, of course, our executive producer on our Sports Channel telecast. Let's take a look at our Sports Channel Division III college football poll as we head into the last week before the playoff announcements. Number 1, Hofstra, you're seeing why tonight. Number 2, Ramapo, and they've got a big game again tomorrow against Trenton State. Number 3, Ithaca will be in action tomorrow as they try to lock up a spot. They'll be taking on CW Post, 4th-rated Cortland. And they've got a game against St. John the Fisher. Number 5, Trenton State. We mentioned they'll be playing tomorrow. Number 6, Union at Hamilton. Number 7, Post trying to knock off Ithaca. Number 8, Glassboro State playing against Montclair State tomorrow night. RPI number 9 is also playing tomorrow at Hobart. And number 10, Buffalo State. They are playing Saturday against a Western opponent. And our Sports Channel Player of the Week is Hofstra quarterback Rory Moss, the junior from New York City. Had an amazing game last week, 35 of 56 for 437 yards, 2 touchdowns, and no interceptions. And he also ran the ball in for another score as Hofstra crushed Wagner 54-6. Honorable mention goes to Ithaca fine sophomore fullback Jeff Whitman. Congratulations, gentlemen. Now time to take a look at our Friday night Metro College football scoreboard. Only 2 games being played in Division III football tonight. And Iona trying to bounce back from the loss against Kings Point last week. And the Gales are leading FDU Madison 14-7 in the second quarter. And Wagner having trouble with their offense, not getting much against William Patterson tonight. But the Seahawks are leading 10-3 at halftime. Both teams are back on the field getting ready to go for the second half. And a reminder that tomorrow, rookie Derek Coleman and the New Jersey Nets shoot it out with Larry Bird, Reggie Lewis, and the Boston Celtics over at the Meadowlands. That's the Nets versus the Celtics tomorrow night at 7:30, live and exclusive on Sports Channel America. Bob Ricca, who's had a tremendous run as coach of the St. John's Redmen, 20 years overall he's been at St. John's, the former star at CW Post, and in his 13th year as the head varsity football coach. 81 wins, 49 losses, and a tie. Liberty Conference Coach of the Year last year when his team had a great season. They went 8-2. The only losses coming to Hofstra in the final game. They were undefeated heading into the regular season finale last year and lost 42-17, but in a game that was much closer than that score would indicate. Time of possession in that first half kind of interesting, as you might expect. Hofstra 2-to-1 ratio, almost 21 minutes to about 9.5 minutes for St. John's. Bees, if you're Bob Ricca, Joe Gardy, what do you do here in the second half? But Joe Gardy, you don't want to have anybody get hurt. You know that you're heading into the playoffs. You're pretty healthy now, and you want to give maybe some of your backup people a chance to shine.
Exactly it for Joe Gardy. You want to let some young people that you may have to call upon in the playoffs if there are some injuries to key positions. You want them to get in and get a little game conditioning here. And of course, if you're Coach Ricca, you want to try to get something going. You don't want to see your team get down and then somebody get hurt or something like that. So you want to keep them fired up, but at the same time, you got to realize you're up against a really dangerous opponent.
Charlie Broadway takes the Olshansky kickoff down the left sideline, and a good return for the freshman from North Babylon to the 35-yard line, brought down by Joe Rizzo. Broadway, who we saw run a real nice play against Kings Point for about a 40-yard run, the longest run St. John's has had this year. So he's got skill. That's an area that St. John's, they had 3 freshmen that came in this year. Mike Frisetta, along with Anthony Russo, and Charlie Broadway. So they've got to get their quarterback situation worked out and get some linemen. Bannon was 1 for 6 in the first half. He'll start the second half here. Has time. Nice drop. Nice throw. Oh, and look at that pop out of the hands of Iadivio and be recovered by Chris Amalfitano. Was that a hook and ladder play, or was that a bobble?
It had the makings of a hook and ladder play, but it ended up, I think, working naturally. Normally you want to catch it and then flip it, but this thing just careened off of his chest. This is a great pass, and it's a good job by the receiver finding the soft spot. Look at that. Doesn't get any better than that.
Well, Chris Amalfitano, the brother of Anthony Amalfitano, who was a real fine receiver last year, has had academic problems trying to work his way back into St. John's for next year. They fake the screen, and again he goes up the middle, batted down, that time by Joe Rizzo, the safety. Number 28 transfer from nearby Nassau Community College, a real tough hitter who has 5 interceptions so far to lead Hofstra this year.
Coach Ricca doing exactly what he's got to do. He's got to put a little caution to the wind, try to get the ball downfield, get his team's confidence up just a little bit. But on the reverse of that, Hofstra is fully aware, and especially the people in the secondary, they're licking their fingertips right now. They figure an opportunity is going to be bouncing around up there.
Ball at the 44, 2nd and 10. Hofstra showing blitz here. Brady and Ringo ready to come. And Russo just barely able to hang on to the football as they got into the backfield real quick. Joe Zorat, number 43, the other linebacker, who was up there in the line of scrimmage breaking in. That could scare you when you see the likes of Brady and Tischler and
especially when the play is designed to go into that hole and you see them jumping all into that area. So that'll make you a little nervous.
See number 46 over there? He's the big play man on the defense. He may not have as many tacklers as Tischler, but Joe Gardy loves this guy. He'll come up with the fumble recovery, the pass interception. He's been a tremendous captain for the last 2 years. 3rd and 13. No blitz shown this time. Bannon for the sideline, and it is incomplete. Amalfitano was there, and Javinsky thought he was going to pick it off. He may have picked it off, but I think the officials are going to rule it incomplete.
The one official couldn't make the call. Apparently he wasn't in position. He looked up to the other one for his call, and he said it was not an interception. Let's find out. Let's see if it stands up to further review.
Nope. Hit the ground.
It hit the ground. Great
good camera work.
Our officials.
Castilli to punt for the 5th time, averaging about 30.5 yards. 10 men up at the line. Hofstra gets in, but they watch the kick sail downfield. Fair catch will be called for at the 31-32 yard line by Mark Cox, where it'll be Hofstra's first possession of the second half. They started slowly. didn't get some points on the board until midway through the first quarter. They got 14 in the first quarter, 24 more in the second, and they hold a comfortable 38-0 lead. Number 86 is Walt Kavanaugh. Gives him sort of a tight end effect in the backfield. He's 6'4", 220. Though they don't employ a tight end regularly in this run and shoot. Keep it on the ground to McGee. Cuts in and falls forward for about a 3-yard pickup. Brought down by the freshman Chris Carew, who has replaced Carl Volpe, who had done an outstanding job as a freshman linebacker this year. I know Bob Rickett counting on him next year. Brian McGee in the first half carried 10 times for 65 yards and 2 touchdowns. Mark Cox also with 2 touchdowns. Hofstra rushed for 4 touchdowns in that first half. Moss being chased, throws on the run, and Millington with the diving attempt incomplete. However, there is a flag on the play back in the backfield.
Hold it on me.
Could be a hold. Larry Kukachka with the indication. He'll talk things over with Rich Colangelo.
You know, that happens a lot when you've got a quarterback that improvises. The offensive linemen don't know exactly where he's going to be.
Move that on.
Now Rory, as you see it indicated, would be a second down. Rory had his second best career day against St. John's last year in that 42-17 win. Passed for 354 yards on 23 for 44 and 4 touchdowns. Moss has done well against St. John's in the past. Second and 16 right here for the Flying Dutchman. Moss with time, has plenty of time, and throws out of the backfield complete to Ray Barberite. And he's spun down by Milt Gasparis. Short pickup, but it'll set up a third and about 15-yard. David Rangali, number 86 over there on the stop as he heads out of the ball game. So it'll be 3rd and 7, 9 yards pickup on that last play. Mark Cox is the ball carrier. Barberite going in motion. Quick slant, and Kavanaugh could not hang on to the ball. The big 6'4", 220-pound youngster from Seagirt, New Jersey. Played basketball in high school. Good size and good hands, but just couldn't hang on there. So Cox will punt only for the second time. He had a squib kick, 23 yards his first time. Iandivio is deep. Along with Chris Amalfitano. Plenty of time for Cox. Sails it downfield. Bounces on the AstroTurf, taken by Amalfitano and run into a freight train hitting him over there. And that freight train by the name of Joey Driver, he can get down faster than anybody downfield.
He did. That, you know, that type of play is nothing but desire. And sometimes the team will ease up a little bit when they've got a nice, comfortable lead, but this is obviously not the case here.
Billy Deakins also getting in pretty quickly. Number 45 on that last play.
Dangerous bounce. You got to get your hands on it. You don't want to go down to the 1. Look at the wave of Hofstra jerseys flying past.
Sean Bannon working out of the I formation. DeRusso tries the left side line and fumbles the football. Hofstra hoping to get it again. That opportunistic defense. But it looks like St. John's has held on.
That's one thing about a defense. You don't really change your tempo with a defense. They're still going for the ball, slashing, hitting hard in there.
3-yard gain. It'll set up a 2nd and 7. You know that St. John's has been running to the left all night behind the veterans Mike Edney and Bob Ferranda. They've got all the kids. Rob Stessel, a freshman, Young Lee, a freshman, and Jeremy Muchler, a sophomore at center. So they've been running left instead of right, as you might expect. They stay left, but no hole as they just got in there too quickly. Ringo and number 56 One of the men on the tackle very quickly. He has 86 tackles this year, 50 unassisted for this former University of Delaware player out of Newark, Delaware. What do you look for here on 3rd down, Bees?
3rd and 7 is, you know, it depends. He may even run this just to be safe.
Right on him.
Ayula Kanui in the game as a defensive lineman now. Pass upfield, Javinsky hoping for the interception. No, it's Salgado. And Salgado, number 6, comes up with the interception. And it is the 3rd interception of the ball game. And the first for Jimmy Salgado, the sophomore from nearby New Hyde Park here in Long Island.
Salgado had his hands on 2 balls in the first half. One should have been intercepted, one nearly intercepted. Well, he gets here this time, just good turn on the inside, outrunning the receiver. It's like he ran the pattern.
Looked like Javinsky and he were going to fight for that ball.
Yeah.
So, hey, it's my interception. And that is the 3rd of the game, 20th of the year for the Hofstra defense. And they take over 1st and 10. Driver in as a blocker on that play. Complete upfield to Cuco rather. And Cuco picks up the 1st down inside the 30, around the 26-yard line. Jason Villar was the tackler on the coverage.
And take a look at this. Take a look at Ringoing here. Kind of works the head around. Look at that. Sort of like the Three Stooges there. That's what happens when you bang too many times. Look at him. He's a happy guy.
However, that play will be negated, so Al Sass, our brilliant statistician, is going to have to change the note he was going to hand me. And Scott Millington will head to the sideline, and we'll have a player change for Hofstra. Oh, they've got a lot of players. Look like about 100 of them. Ray Barberite in the game. Holding is the call against Hofstra. It's been a problem earlier in the year. Remember our first few games? And Joe Gardy was a little bit concerned about it. Got that trips to the left. You see 3 wide receivers to the near side. First time they've shown that pattern. Moss can dangle with the best of them. He'll tuck it under. 40. Takes a hit by Scott Biter and falls forward to the 35-yard line. You know, if you're Joe Gardy heading into the playoffs, you don't want to see your most important player running the football there.
I have nothing
in the open field.
I have nothing to do with the team, and I was holding my breath. No, you really don't. That was an interesting offensive play. They lined up 3 receivers to the left. 2 of them sprinted downfield, clearing out for Colangelo, and still Rory decided to run with it. Nice run.
And whistles blow before they can snap the ball. Timeout will be taken by St. John's.
They had 12 men on the field.
Chris Colangelo, who got off to that great start in the first game we did against Fordham, had his career best that day, 8 catches for 176 yards. Has been rather quiet tonight. They haven't thrown too many balls his way as Bob Ricker wants to talk things over. 1 catch for Coco. As he's
Tell Chris not to
called.
force the tape that they give him.
All right, Rory, nice boy.
And hey,
if he doesn't, I'm just going to come
if he's covered, get off quick.
Come on, Rory. Back to the slide. It was wide open.
All right, we heard a little bit of the play calling there. The only thing we could pick up was that it is a pass.
Are they covering it
Joe Gardy and
man to man, or is it the
final
ends coming?
instruction was to take a look at a certain receiver.
I'd like to have Mark. I'd like to have Mark or
if that certain receiver is covered, you're supposed to come off of him quickly and go to something else. Probably that same safety valve that we witnessed in the first half.
Man in motion is Millington on 2nd down. 2nd and call it 5. Quick looking pass to Morris, who could break those kind of plays. And he's down at the 24-yard line. It'll be a 1st down and the first reception for Wayne Morris as Scott Biter made the tackle. But one of the things that has impressed Joe Gardy about is Morris's ability to break a tackle. Once he's hit, he can pop that short 7 or 8 yarder for a touchdown.
Now, obviously, St. John's was not lining anybody up directly over him. They recognize that, and that's what they were talking about. If it's there, hit him quickly. If it's not there, go somewhere else.
49th catch of the year. He's not close to the record for one season, most catches. Moss will dump it off here, could not be handled. And we get flags thrown all over the field. Mark Cox couldn't hang on. Incompleted pass clock stops with 9 minutes to go in this third quarter.
That's an interesting play that they've been running. It's kind of half between the true shuffle pass.
Now defensive holding, Larry Kukoczka indicates, which will give them a first down and a 5-yard walk-off.
Go ahead.
Head linesman John Drennan, record for one season, most catches. Moss will dump it off here, could not be handled, and we get flags all over the field. Hear the pop?
Hear the bikes and right L's.
You get itchy when you hear the sound, or you like it better up here?
I don't know. That sound kind of made me a little kind of happy to be 2 stories up.
So it's inside the 15, 1st and 10 at the 14 for Hofstra, as they try to win their 16th game in a row in regular season. Their last regular season loss came up in Buffalo after losing to CW Post early last year. They lost 2 in a row. Ran off 7 straight, including a win over St. John's to make the playoffs. Moss drilling it, complete to Colangelo, diving to the goal line, but he's shy by a yard. Chris, of course, needs just 1 touchdown to set a school record for most career TDs, set earlier by Emil Wogemuth, a great receiver in the early 80s. Very shifty little guy, Colangelo.
Well, that spin that he has after the catch is tough.
Ball is marked at the 5, so it is a 2nd and about 2. Now trips to the right. Looking left, looking for Colangelo. He outleaped the defender, fumbles the football, but they'll rule it incomplete. Milt Gasparis was there. Colangelo outleaped him. They're both about 5'9", 5'10". Colangelo could not hang on.
And sometimes you have to say good throw, good catch. Sometimes you have to say good defense, and it's exactly good defense in this case. There's a great offensive play, but he's got his hands in there to drag it out before he has possession.
So 3rd and about 2, or make it a 1.5 yards for Rory Moss. On the ground, Hagofsky into the end zone for a touchdown. So 3 different running backs have scored. A 4-yard touchdown run for the sophomore from Jackson, New Jersey. His 6th rushing touchdown. And boy, have they balanced it out between these guys running the football. Just about the same number of plays and the same number of touchdowns.
Just like shuffle the deck. Who's up next? Go in, run hard. A little banged up there. Turned his ankle or his knee or something, but he's walking it off. He'll be okay.
Walter Olshansky to try the extra point. And he hits our cameraman up there. Nearly got our guy there up on the big booth up there. On the big lift. And there's a look at Mr. Hagofsky. He can run over you or run by you.
Take a look at that haircut. Just the same play we've seen. Just stick it in there. Our guy can outblock your guy, and he does it.
Well, you had to like the way the guards. That was picture perfect. You saw from our end zone camera.
Now take a look at this kick. Our camera is right between the uprights. How true is this kick? Wow.
Let's give our cameraman an A for hanging in there, Craig Woloshin.
That's right, Craig. He needs a little.
Hello,
there's
Craig.
Hey, Craig.
Hanging tough. And I want to compliment our crew in this weather. It's a little nippy out there. They've done a great job all year, Bees.
Yeah, they really have. We've got
Olshansky
great angles.
Driving it downfield. Russo at the 12. 25. 30. Gets to the 31. About an 18-19 yard return for Anthony Russo. And the Redmen with 8:02 to go in this third quarter, trailing 45-0, will try to get on the board. Get something going offensively. And Sean Sharkey has checked back into the ballgame. It'll be the 2nd series for the freshman.
Godricka pacing right now, but the future looks real good for his club. He's got some good young players. This is one of those nights he's just got to survive.
Sharkey 0 for 2 in limited play in the first half. Single setback. Now they've got 3 wide receivers, their version of run and shoot. They'll screen it out to Broadway. Broadway trying to turn away from Tischler, but Tischler ran it down. There is a flag on the play, as you saw, thrown after the tackle was made. Makovsky having some work on his ankle, but the young man appears to be okay.
Let's tighten up the shoelaces a little bit.
Could be a face mask penalty. Larry Kukachka will let us know soon. And again, a reminder, folks, tomorrow we'll continue our Sports Channel local college football coverage when we journey to Fordham's Rose Hill, and the Rams of Fordham take on the Holy Cross Crusaders. We'll be on live at 1 o'clock. And as we said, Gary Brennan and the Fordham Rams showing some good-looking offense of late. The defense has been a problem for the Rams this year, stopping the big plays. And they'll be faced with some big plays tomorrow, as Holy Cross has one of the more potent offenses in the country. Face mask is the call. 7:54 to go here in the third quarter, and St. John's will put it in play here on 2nd down and 1 at the 40-yard line. Sean Sharkey, who made a big splash in his first ball game this year when he threw a 71-yard touchdown pass against Iona. As St. John's upset Iona in the opening ball game. Redmen went on to win their first 5, but they have struggled on the verge of losing their 5th straight. And now whistle blows again as things are slowing down here.
Get in bed so I can do it again.
I don't know what the reason for the delay is. There was no flag on the play. Bees, maybe you've got an idea.
Well, the official tapped his chest like it was his timeout. Maybe he wanted to respot the ball or something.
All righty. Ringo, it looks like he wants it calm. They blitz, and Russo tries to find the hole before he's shoved down. There are some changes in that defense for Hofstra right now. We'll try to pick up some of the reserve players in there. Larry Brady was in on the tackle. Also in on the play, number 61, Mike Gifford. Coming in at tackle, replacing Mike Barry. There you see number 73, Big Jim McKean. 6'3", 275-pounder, who's been bothered by some leg injuries this year, off and on, hobbled by an Achilles heel. Play action rolling. Sharkey, good runner, chased to the sideline, and out of bounds he goes, pushed down by Brady as he got out across midfield at the 48-yard line. Sharkey able to turn the corner there. Perhaps he's a better runner at this point in his young college career than he is a thrower, but he's got some size and he's got a good arm. He can drill the ball. Lacks experience.
They're counting on him for some big things in the future. He's, like you said, a raw athlete. It's great for him to get the playing time that he got here this first year for him. Really help him down the line.
He's passed for almost 500 yards this year and 5 touchdowns. 2nd and short. Robinson and Russo in the I formation. Russo has the first down as he knifes his way to the 44-yard line, brought down by Mike Gifford, number 61.
McFarland, number 61, the solo tackle for the Dutchman.
So far, Russo held in check. It's hard to do if you watch him all day long. At some point, he's going to explode. But tonight, he has been corralled, 15 carries for only 20 yards. But he's the type of guy that one play can net him about 40 or 50. It's just a great athlete, just playing against a real tough defense right now.
Well, he's been Liberty Conference Rookie of the Week 4 weeks in a row this year, and comes off the big game against Georgetown last week. Iadivio in motion. Play action to Russo. Sharkey has some running room. And he's trying to beat Brady, and wisely goes out of bounds with Brady. Hits him high and out of bounds. Might have got away with a penalty there, Brady.
Brady came very close. He was right on the brink, right on the edge of an infraction that time. He wisely pulled off.
Sharkey has given his club a first down with his running ability, but I think they're going to bring the chains in, so it might be a bit premature in that call.
That's a horrible dimension for a team if you think defensively, as I tend to. A quarterback that can run kind of messes up everything and throws your plans off. You have everything corralled, everybody covered, and then there he goes.
Well, St. John's has not been able to stop the running attack. It is enough for the first down. Not been able to stop the Hofstra running attack tonight. That has been the story, is Brian McGee, along with their other fine runners, Al Hagofsky and Mark Cox, have rushed for 5 touchdowns. Rory Moss has thrown 1 touchdown pass, a little shovel pass for a short TD. And Bob Bollard has added a field goal. Sean Sharkey heads back out with 6:39 to go here in this third quarter. Redmen trying to avert a shutout. Points have come hard this year for St. John's after last year, the tremendous year they had with Scott Cessny and Dennis McDermott, that explosive offense, which was very similar to what Hofstra's doing this year. They put up big numbers last year. Long lines up wide to the left. Iadivio at the bottom of your screen. Sharkey rolling, throwing deep, looking for Iadivio. Pager was defending, and it goes incomplete, setting up a 2nd and 10.
Iadivio, the intended receiver, has Pager the coverage, but has the incomplete.
Sharkey can throw the football, and he throws, as you said earlier, best on the run.
That's a real talent, because, see, you don't know if he's going to take off running, if he's going to throw, so the linebackers are caught in that in-between area. Should I come up? Should I stay back? And that's going to net some real yardage in the future. He does have a super arm and decent speed, very good field savvy. He's going to be good.
Well, he's had a problem earlier in the season seeing the field. That's something that freshman quarterbacks often do. Batted down as Ring Owen got his hand on the ball.
By the outside linebacker, Eric Ringoen, number 56.
It's the final regular season game here at Hofstra. They giving out some shirts, Bees, or souvenirs?
Nice souvenirs.
Isn't she
loyal
cold?
fans here?
I'll tell you that young lady must have
wearing
good
number
blood.
61 tonight, the Hofstra
Yes,
lineup is
cold.
Mike
That's
Clifford.
right. It is cool.
Now 3rd and 10 from the 33-yard line. Sharkey look to try to keep the drive going here. Rolls left. Russo trying to block for him. He threw on the run. A lot of pressure from Ring Owen. There's a flag on the play. And also chasing was Akinui, number 93. Everybody wants a freebie.
Larry Floyd with the coverage for the Dutchman.
Another holding call. This against the defense, so that will give them first down. It should. There's a lovely young lady munching on a pretzel. We could use one of those up here.
A hot one, a nice hot pretzel.
A little mustard. You got it.
A little chilly outside.
Thanks to our spotters here who are laughing in the background. Jamie Meyer, the Hofstra Sports Information staff, and Frank Raccanello does a great job at St. John's as their sports information director.
The holding penalty will give the Redmen a first down.
Well, the Redmen with their best penetration here, Bees. They're inside the 25, trying to get some points on the board and avert a shutout. Russo and McKean will drive him to the turf.
Mike Barry and Jim McKean.
Well, the 2 tackles, Barry and McKean, combining on the tackle. As the clock ticks with 6:05 to go here.
2nd and 9.
Hofstra trying to complete an undefeated season. And the undefeated seasons were back in 1959 and 1983. And in 1983, their toughest game was against Hofstra. Steve Beatty had to catch a touchdown pass in the closing seconds, an 80-yard touchdown pass to win that game over at St. John. Sharkey throwing on the run in the end zone. Jeff Long just couldn't catch up to it. Need a little better touch on that one.
It's a little bit too long for him. Jeff has got good range, but that one, I guess we can say, was too long for long.
Who gave you that line?
Shall I tell him or do you want to tell him?
That evil man in the truck, Larry Roth. 5:32 to go here in the third quarter. Hope you're enjoying the action wherever you're watching on Sports Channel. We're watching the Hofstra Flying Dutchman, ranked number 2 in the nation behind Dayton.
Dayton has got some scouts here tonight.
So not surprising.
Yeah.
Now, there are rumors that Hofstra finishes first in the East, that they might play Cortland State or Ithaca. No, they probably have some scouts here, too. Both teams very much in the hunt, along with Ramapo for a playoff spot.
Whoever's here is probably getting an eyeful.
Sharkey chased by Ringo and avoids one tackle, and then he's buried over there. McKean and Barry. Look at those big tackles at 265. They were flying all over the field. And Joe Zorat was also over there, number 43.
Yeah, when you got a quarterback running full speed out of control, he's a right-handed quarterback running to his left. It's like sharks in blood for those defensive linemen. Man, they know they've got you.
Late flag, as you see. The officials are talking it over.
We are getting hosed.
A lot of penalties here. Perhaps roughing the passer. Talking it over, however, with Larry Brady. We'll see.
Well, they're explaining something.
Personal foul.
Yeah.
Could be it.
Illegal use of the hands.
Illegal use of the hands. So Hofstra's aggressive defense helping St. John's on this drive.
You're looking at a man in trouble.
Oh,
nice
Ringo
move there.
Zorat, and then for the late hit.
Oh yeah,
you
got
the big guy.
It's like 3 late hits there. Mike Barry coming in really late.
There was McKean in there. Zorat had him spun around.
Late.
That's a lot of beef over there. You got about 800 pounds of, not roast beef, but some pretty big beef over there. So on the penalty, they'll go now to inside the, let's see where they spotted it, around the 6-yard line, I believe, or 7.
8-yard line.
8-yard line, let's call it. And it'll be 1st and goal for St. John's. Remember, St. John's averted a shutout in our earlier telecast, then had their long streak snapped by C.W. Post when the Pioneers blanked them. It was 128 games that they had scored at least a point in. Out of the I formation. Russo and number 73, Jim Barry. Shut him down quickly.
They are coming. Sprint out, we know that.
Tell you, there's not much between those tackles. Not much between those tackles. These guys are getting in that backfield so quick. Look at the penetration there. They try to put 2-3 people on him. Look at that. Biggest guy on the line. He takes a couple of people with him.
No, they're just too big. You look at the St. John's line trying to block him. Muchler 205, Young Lee at 215. You're just giving up too much, and experience too.
I'd test the corners a little more with some sweeps left and right, see what Russo could do. It's going to be tough going inside the tackles.
Why not pass in this situation? All right, Sean Sharkey in trouble. And he throws under some heavy heat. Salgado on a blitz from the secondary. And Barrick Boyd also, they came with 2 men from the secondary blitzing Sharkey that time.
Oh, man, I tell you, that was the perfect defense for the play call. And just all over it. Had no time to square his shoulders. He's lucky to get away with, you know, not getting an intentional grounding here, because believe me, he figures it out right here. They want the football, so let me get rid of it right there.
Well, those guys hungry. Salgado was in there. He said, I had an interception earlier. Javinsky almost stole one from me. 3rd and goal here. At the 8-yard line. 3:59 to go. That Hofstra defense doesn't want to be scored on. Sharkey looking for long and could not get to it. Boyd said, no, a little push in there. No, no, not me, says Barrick Boyd.
No. He never really found the ball that time.
So on 4th down, I'm sure they'll go for it here rather than kick the field goal. Well, you remember in a similar situation against C.W. Post, they went for 6 and nearly scored on the final play of the game.
Yeah, no, they don't want to get shut out here. They want to try to put this thing in here. This is critical for them.
ball at the 8. Sharkey too high for Iadivio. Russell Pagner on the coverage. And St. John's is denied their drive as Hofstra, with 3:50 to go, will take over, leading 45-0. Their biggest win and most points that they have scored, 65. That came against Albany earlier this year.
Let's take a look. There's a shot, just a little too high. Could only get one finger on it.
Timing a little off on that pass.
Yeah, really
too.
nothing there.
Drive failed. It was 13 plays. Took over 4 minutes and went some 60 yards thanks to some penalties. At least they kept the ball away from Hofstra that time. And Rory Moss on the pitch, turning it upfield, and McGee slips down. Or check that. That's a new running back in the ball game, number 24 for Hofstra, David Young. Young is a 5'10", 190-pound freshman from Wharton, New Jersey, who has carried the ball 15 times, an average of 6 yards every time he's touched the ball.
Well,
another one. Another one of the many that Joe Gardy brought in. What a recruiting class. A lot of subs in there for Hofstra right now. We'll pick them up. Blondie lines up as a receiver, wide to the left. That's Morris in the slot to the left. Quick pitch for Millington. Bounces off a tackle, and look at him still go to the 43-yard line, brought down by Scott Biter, but not before he picked up 24 yards.
Well, that one could make somebody's highlight film. That's just strictly balance and individual effort. They've taken advantage of this all day. Rory just pushes it out there. Doesn't even take time to get the ball squared in his hands.
He popped Milkus Paris there pretty good.
Look at that balance. It's great effort.
Biter finally able to corral him. So it's a first down across the 40.
One of the keys to stopping the run and shoot is to put somebody over every receiver.
Jeff Johnstone in the ball game right now as he gets the handoff. And this freshman from Oxford, Massachusetts picks up 14 yards, brought down by Scott Waite, the good-looking freshman out of Baldwin, a player at Chaminade High School with a lot of potential. Tommy Schimminger now checks into the ball game. That's your play. Jeff Johnston, you're on the score sheet. You made a nice 15-yard gain.
I tell you, they've got a lot of guys that a lot of schools would love to have in their backfields. They're just shuttling them in.
6 different running backs have been used so far. Morris in motion. Keep it on the ground, and this is Jeff Johnston, or rather Tommy Schimminger, as he is stopped after a short pickup. One of the few seniors in the running back department. He, along with Brian McGee, the only seniors. Let's join Carl Reuter down in the field right now.
All right, Barry, thanks very much. I'm joined by Bobby Jackson, former New York Jet defensive back, and very close with Coach Gardy of Hofstra, Bobby.
Oh, yeah, Joe's been a great supporter of mine, and I'm here supporting him now. They're doing a great job here at Hofstra.
Feels good to get out on the field again, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah, I feel like suiting up. Every time I come out and watch him practice, the guys think I'm a recruit, and I told them, you know, I'm an old man now.
Well, you know, you're not an old man, but you know something, when you look at the sidelines here, a lot of these guys are big, aren't they?
Oh, yeah, they impress me with their size. They have quite a few big guys here, and plus I know they have some pro prospects as well.
You know Coach Gardy pretty well. What were his thoughts coming in here? His first year as a coach, and he can go off with a perfect 10-0 season?
Well, I think basically with Coach Gardy is you play hard for him. He'll back you 100%. The main thing is just for the guys to have fun, and this is a building block for the future. I'm here to cheer him on for his first undefeated season.
And I see that you're already a Hofstra supporter. You got the hat on, you got the jacket. You're all taken care of.
Oh, no question. This is a family here. He supported me, so I'm here supporting him now.
Bobby Jackson, thanks very much for coming by and saying hello.
Thanks, Carl, for having me.
All right, Bobby Jackson, former New York Jet defensive back. Beasley, I know you like defensive backs.
You got it right, buddy. That's one of my favorite people. That's one of the fastest men in the history at defensive back. Great feet, good guy.
All right. We'll keep the plaudits coming here, Bees.
That's right. In the history of the world.
Joey Driver just picked up 8 yards with that nice-looking run after Rafael Morales caught a pass before that. And here's Driver, the freshman from Long Beach here on Long Island, dragged out of bounds by Rich Colangelo. And you see Driver limping a little bit. Well, Long Beach High School's had some fine running backs over the years. Scotty Graham was one of them.
That's right.
And Pete Johnson came out of Long Beach. The big train, Pete Johnson.
Yeah,
Remember him?
That's right.
Cincinnati Bengals, about 250.
Oh, I do remember.
couple of the fine Long Island high school players that went on to star. And here's an opportunity for number 24 breaking and close to the goal line. That's Davey Young carrying for the second time.
It's nice to see these guys get a shot. You know, you got a freshman here running the ball a little bit. You got the senior coming in, getting his last few shots. It's you know, I guess it's nice. It's not nice from a St. John's perspective, but when you have a lead, it's good to be able to do that.
8 different running backs have carried the ball for St. John's in the final 20 seconds of this third quarter. Keep it on the ground and trying to get close to the goal line that time. It'll be stopped at around the 4-yard line. Dave Young, the freshman. And on third down, we will get no more plays off for the third quarter as the clock has ticked down. So after 3, the Flying Dutchman lead it 45-0.
To the good life. To live the good life, you have to pay the price. The average new car costs over $15,000. But there's a motor.
Here was the untimely death of the graduate assistant coach Joe Healy. Otherwise, this has been a near perfect season for Joe and the people here at Hofstra.
This is certainly a year that he will never forget, just from the highs and lows, as you mentioned. But for him to finally get his opportunity as a head coach, and then for it to turn out like this, I mean, a potential 10-0 start and a playoff berth. He's gotten a lot of play in the New York area, on the local talk shows and media shows and radio shows. And he came in here, he brought in the 4-man line on defense, brought in the run and shoot offense, brought in a couple of pro coaches. Bobby Jackson was being modest a few minutes ago. He comes out and talks to the players, and a lot of the Jets and former guys that used to work with Joe Gardy come out here, and they brings about an air of professionalism that is really paying off on the field.
On third down, Young fumbles as he hits the goal line, recovered by St. John's, and recovering the football was Steve Nieves, number 31, and it's going to be St. John's ball. Now check it. They're going to give it to Mann, number 19. Nevin Mann. I thought it was number 31 who recovered the football, but it is Nevin Mann who comes up with the football. What a strange play.
What a strange way this ball bounces. Young working very hard. Looks like he's going to get his big shot, falling in. Somebody hits the elbow. Ball bounces up perfectly from Mann, I tell you. You let him get one more step, and we could be talking about a 99-yarder.
The only turnover so far for Hofstra in what has been a near perfect night as far as the offense is concerned. Now Sharkey trying to find some running room. He has some yardage and has the first down to around the 15-16-yard line. Vince Scallion and Bill Deakins, the backup linebackers, made the tackle. Sharkey has shown an ability to scramble and get out of trouble.
He really is doing well. He's rolling left, rolling right. If there's something there, he puts it out. If not, he keeps it. So far, he's thrown it 3 times for 31 yards, but or carried the ball 3 times for 31 yards, and that's really that's a dimension that really drives a defense crazy.
You got to play the whole field when you get a quarterback like that.
Really do.
Sharkey getting a much-needed first down for the Redmen. Try to avert the shutout. Hofstra has had 3 shutouts this year. Play action. Sharkey in trouble. Throws on the run. Incomplete. A lot of blue shirts. Fiore, number 41, was the man closest to the ball. Pressure that time from Mike Gifford, number 61, the freshman tackle. Sharkey's numbers 1 for 9 so far today. Came in with a very poor passing percentage of 29.9%.
The difficult thing there is he was running left and simply couldn't square his shoulders.
Joe Gardy, who grew up in New Jersey, graduated Maryland, was an assistant coach at Maryland briefly. Got into pro football, and as you said, B's having the chance at the age of 56 that he has waited for. On second down. On the ground, Russo to the 21-yard line. So Russo, who many feel much better than Manny DeSantis at the same stage when they were both freshmen. Of course, he just broke DeSantis' record, which was set last year when Manny was a senior. And Russo's had games this year of 235 yards rushing against Pace, 216 against Curry. Not nearly, of course, the caliber of teams that he's facing tonight, but he's a very durable young man. 5'9", 180. He can take a pounding. Sharkey buys some time and tuck it under. And pulled down from behind. Mike Gifford showing some good speed to catch up with him from behind. 61. But he does have another first down.
Stop going inside!
It's a dangerous man.
Joe upset there.
Hey, don't look away until I clap.
Joe, defensive. That's where his heart is, of course, on the defense, where he coached pro football. Now we'll get a substitution. Iandivio will leave for St. John's. And number 14, Kevin Shanahan is checked into the game. Warming up on the sideline, number 14. That is the young quarterback, George Beisel, the freshman out of Philadelphia, who was very highly recruited. We'll tell you about him when he comes in the game, if he does. We do expect him to make an appearance with the score of 45-0. Rousseau to the 30. And the hole shut down there. Ben Scallion, who was a starting linebacker last year on the tackle. With the appearance of Eric Ringo, Scallion moved to a backup.
Need a big turnover, D. Come on. Big play now. Big play, Billy.
Shouting to Billy Deakins, who's been a big play man. Linebacker at Garden City, number 45. Transferred from Union. He was on that great Union team. Played in the championship game against Dayton last year. Sharkey apparently checking off here. Second and long. Russo trying to turn outside. Good penetration initially there by Hofstra's number 33. And the play broke it down. Check it, Akinui, number 93. Got in quickly there and kind of forced him to change direction on that one.
Watch your gadget.
Back, Luke, get back, please.
Jimmy, stay alert for a gadget, Jimmy.
Gadget, of course, meaning some form of trick play.
Talking to Jimmy Fiore, the guy calling the defensive signals in the secondary, number 41. And you saw Deakins 45, Akinui 93, getting in there quickly, along with 99, Charlie Santaniello. Illegal procedure against the Redmen. So it'll be third and even longer yardage. Well, Joe Gardy will give a lot of credit to his assistant coaches. He brought Rob Spence over from Iona.
Jimmy Fiore, watch a gadget or something.
Rob Ricka, does he have a gadget?
I bet he wishes he had about 15 to 20 gadgets right now.
Well, let's see what happens on third and long yardage. Joe Farina now in the ballgame defensively for the Hofstra Flying Dutchman, number 91. You see him at the bottom of your picture. Looks like they're showing blitz here. Sharkey will roll left. Chased by Deakins. Deakins got an angle on him and pulls him down. Billy Deakins, another one of those linebackers who'd be starting on most clubs, but a substitute on this fine ball club.
That was by design. Deacon was told to spy on Sharkey. If he rolls left, he rolls right. Wherever he goes, you take the angle and attack him. Well, you couldn't do it any better than that. Cut off the angle, made the tackle before any gain was made. That was a perfect spy. That's what they mean by spy.
Castilli standing back at around the 12. This will be a sixth punt. He's averaged under 30 yards on his previous 5. They're coming now, and he just gets it away. Number 25 had a shot to block that kick over there. That was Mark Cox, believe it or not. Here's Cocos Yellow at the 40-yard line and brought down. I guess he said, I'm not getting my hands on the ball when we're on offense. Let me get the ball on a punt here.
Well, that was a good punt.
37-yard punt, the best for Castilli he's had, and a 3-yard return.
Nice high punt, good hang time. The coverage team was right there, nothing he could do but Trying to get loose. Nothing there, though.
Now, both these teams, both these schools will be starting basketball. We take a look at George Beisel, the 6'1", 180-pound freshman from Philadelphia. He was 1 for 2. He's for 17 yards and a touchdown pass. So he's getting a look here with Tim Lynch, the normal number 2 quarterback, out with an illness. They'll keep it on the ground here for number 32 rather, and running the football, Alex Austin. So we get another look at another running back out of Columbus, Ohio, a transfer from Potomac State. And he's rushed the ball 20 times this year for 60 yards and 2 touchdowns.
And that's a good-looking running back, too. I mean, looks like you could put him anywhere. 6 foot, 210 pounds, and walks up to the line real slow. And
another one that Joe Gardy has here. Scott Millington in motion on 2nd and 5. And with the ball, this is Austin. Tripped up as he got close to midfield. Brought down by Mike Urena. There's Rory Moss on the sideline. Very well liked by his teammates. And, you know, before the season started, Joe Gardy was wondering, can this guy do it on the field? He wasn't doing it in practice back in August. And he wondered right up to that Fordham game when we were here, Bees, could he do it in the game?
Well,
and he's proven that he is a gamer.
Answered that question.
You know players over the course of your history that were great practice players and just didn't do it in the game, and vice versa.
Oh, yeah.
Driven out of bounds is Austin after picking up a first down, a 12-yard pickup.
Rory with a wonderful day.
Please let me ask you from that same story, like they talk about Rory Moss not being a great practice player but doing it in the game. How about guys that you played with over the course of your career with the Giants or with Tampa Bay? Who was somebody like that that just turned it on when it came to game time?
Anyway, let me think about that one for a second, because I'm sure there are a lot of guys that don't practice well. And most coaches feel like you play the way you practice, so it's hard to see the light of day if you don't give a lot of effort in practice. Let me think about that one.
All right, 8:48 to go as Beasley contemplates. Dave Young right up the middle. Now check that Brian McGee. Hard to keep track of all the changes being made, but we talk a little bit about this Beisel kid. He was very highly recruited. He was the Maxwell Club Award winner in Philadelphia, given to the outstanding high school player in Philadelphia. Prestigious Maxwell Award Club, and was very highly regarded in preseason. In fact, was rated ahead of Timmy Lynch in preseason, but it was a little jittery earlier, and Lynch came on and won the backup job to Rory Moss. And what a job that Timmy Lynch has done. We'll tell you about his numbers in a moment. This is Tom Schimminger carrying the ball, and the senior down as he gets to the 23-yard line. However, there is a penalty on the play. As we look at Dave Young, or rather Tommy Schimminger. Schimminger, a holdover from the wing T days here when Mickey Kwiatkowski ran a great Hofstra wing T. Team of the 80s starting off the 90s in great shape, aren't they, Bees?
Really are.
Yeah, I guess Hofstra's story will be the second season. Can they do it in the playoffs? The one rap against Hofstra over the years, they've had tremendous regular season, as the holding call indicated. Against Hofstra's been the playoffs. Last year, Rory Moss took some heat, finished the season in great shape with impressive victories over St. John's and Fordham. And then they came into the big game against Montclair State, and Moss and the Flying Dutchman just couldn't get it done. And Hofstra has been unable to do it in the playoffs in the last 5 years, 5 opportunities they've had. Beisel being chased, showing some good running ability, tripped up on a nice open field tackle. The ball rolls out of bounds, and it'll still be Hofstra ball.
Showed some pretty good speed there. As he turned the corner, there was a little spurt that would indicate he's got some pretty good foot speed.
All right, we'll check our Sports Channel scoreboard. The Iona Gales leading FDU Madison 21-7 in the third quarter as they try to wind up a disappointing season on a winning note. And the Wagner Seahawks having a tough time. Another club that has had a disappointing season. They got off to a good start. But Walt Hamline's club leading William Patterson by only 3, 12-9. Last week, Patterson was pummeled. What a big game tomorrow over in New Jersey. Ramapo and Trenton State. The winner probably will get a playoff spot. They could be playing Hofstra. Here's McGee off the left side. And looks like he picked up the first down. Joe Gardy still putting in those. Got to find out for Carl Reuter. We've got to get a sunflower
seeds, no question about it. That's a habit of mine.
All right, I think we got sunflower. That's the word.
Give some of the playoff people something to think about.
Go tobacco. What about Bill Parcells and some of the other coaches that you played for? What were their habits like on the side?
Parcells is really, he doesn't do anything like that. He's a yeller, and
we could see that.
He just stays on your back. Great coach.
Alex Austin on a short pickup.
But of course, you know, I play with the guys that a lot of the coaches would chewing tobacco or whatever, especially the guys from down south.
2nd and 11 as the clock ticks with 6:40 to go in the season finale for these two clubs, as Hofstra will wind up 10-0 and St. John's 5-5.
Parcells just chewed on a certain part of you.
He can chew you out.
Oh, he can chew you up, buddy. Great coach.
Meisel to throw for the first time, maybe. Waited and waited and threw a nice pass to the sideline. And Morales, Rafael Morales, coming up with the reception. Number 89, little receiver.
Well, that was pretty impressive. Kind of patient. You notice he gets a little nervous. Watch him start patting that ball. There's a little pat. There's a little pat. For some guys, that's a tip that you're going to throw when you pat the ball. And then on the run, a strike. Good play.
Morales, another one of those receivers who has had an opportunity to catch a couple of passes this year. That is his 5th reception. And he has caught, believe it or not, a couple of touchdowns this year. Let's join Carl Reuter and a bunch of happy players down on the field.
All right, Barry, thanks very much. Led by, I got pretty much the whole offense here, led by quarterback Rory Moss. And Rory, you get most of the just due, but you wanted to bring the offensive line over. Smiling face, go ahead, do the player intros.
This is right tackle Mike Pasquello. This is left tackle Leif Shea. This is guard and center Greg Boudet. Stephen Trinowski, just let your chest out, Steph, okay? And this is left guard Rich Salgado.
Now tell me about it. 10-0. This is it, huh?
This is it, and this is the formula that's been working, and this is the formula that we're going to stay with. Nothing but positive things coming from these guys. They're bringing 7 guys, and they're blocking.
Florida, you're overlooking the first one. You're going all the way, huh?
One at a time, one at a time, one at a time. That's it.
So tell me about it now. At the beginning, it was a little bit, you know, run and shoot at the beginning, a little skeptical if we go back to August, but now you in love with this?
I love it a lot. The thing as far as they're concerned is that they played 4 run and shoot teams already, St. John's. They know the run and shoot. You know, we had to fill them out a little. These guys had to tell me what was good, because believe me, they have the brains on the field. I just look good. They don't want us to get it all done. You don't believe me? I'm telling you.
Well, you know something, without guys like this behind you, you're not going to have that smiling face. You better take good care of them.
Could you do me a favor?
Go ahead.
Talk to Leif for a second, because Leif never talks, or Tank.
Why not? Talk to me. Tell me about this quarterback. Tell me about this quarterback.
Rory Moss is the best athlete on the field today. I'll tell you what, there's nothing better than Rory Moss. When he's throwing the run and shoot, nothing better, nothing better.
Now, the offense always gets there, all the talk, okay? But what about the defense? Is there a defense on this Hofstra team?
It's like 11 guys over there that we know. I just say right now, we abuse them in practice every day. Abuse them.
Abuse them, huh? We abuse them. How strong is this offense? Would you beat your own defense?
We can beat our own D. We beat them 5 days a week. They can't wait till the games to play somebody.
You know, they're standing right over here. They're going to come on, too. They're going to get their just, too.
They're in trouble.
They're in trouble. All right.
Got a bald head, happens to be related to me. I have no hands, no hands.
All right, how does it feel, seriously, 10-0 season?
Happy. This is my first undefeated team I've ever been with. We're just not getting cocky. You know, right now we seem like we're lollygagging and everything's great. But tomorrow's strictly business again, so we're going to enjoy this moment while we have, and after that, it's time to get back to business.
All right, fellas. Good luck to you down the road, and hopefully we'll be following in those playoff games. Rory Moss and crew, thank you. Barry Beasley, back up to you.
Thank you, Carl. Nice job down there. Nice group of young men. And what it's all about, Division III football, the camaraderie. Field goal attempt coming up here for Bolett as he kicks from the 27-yard attempt, and it's up, and it looks good. Bobby Bolett, who missed his first, has kicked 2 here. And the lead now goes to 48-0 for Joe Gardy. And, you know, Beasley, listening to those young men, brought a chuckle to me, and listening
Oh,
to
yeah.
Rory Moss, such an articulate, bright young man, and the rest of the guys, just real love affair that goes on between those offensive linemen and the quarterback.
That's right. It's a special feeling. You know, they work on so much, through so much, and for so long. And for it to come together the way it has for them is just wonderful. You see how much they enjoy each other and what type of team they must have. That's a very private fraternity, a team, and they certainly have one.
Now, for those of you who aren't aware, you heard them kibitzing a little bit about the defense and the offense, but basically, you know, you feel so much a part of your own unit there. And as you said, in practice, they went head-to-head. We can beat our defense.
That's right. And you wait till their defense takes a look at the films and hears about this.
Well, we want to let you folks know, you football fans, that next Saturday you can catch the first round of the NCAA football playoffs. That's right. Sports Channel will be back here as the undefeated Hofstra Flying Dutchmen enter the postseason with hopes of a national title. That's the NCAA Football Division III playoffs. Next Saturday, November 17th at 12:30, live and exclusive on Sports Channel America. And we're delighted to be back here and follow the Flying Dutchmen, see if they can do it this year. Russo at the 12. And tripped up at the 22-yard line. And making the tackle over there was number 16, and number 18, rather, David Jack, the defensive back, one of the freshmen. Those kids love to get out on that field. The special teams we talked about, and Joe Gardy was working them along, and he says, I'm really proud of the way they've been doing lately, what they've been doing.
Well, there's a lot of pride of, you know, every unit, a lot of pride on this team, and it's just, it shows in their record. It's a real team.
And for young players, it's a chance to impress the coaches.
That's
you know,
right.
say, hey, I want some playing time on either offense or defense. So the only test here is if St. John's could score, and they'll give it to Broadway. Carl Reuter has another group of players that want equal time, so let's go down on the field.
All right, Barry, now the defense has their chance. Now, wait, led by Larry Brady. Larry, the offense says that they carry the defense.
Let's set the record straight. We own the offense. We own them. Own them. We use them day in and day out.
All right, here, wait, who do we have here? We got a bunch of guys. Jim McKeon is over here. Jim, come on in here. We got Jim McKeon in here. Talk about this defense. You're pretty much the leader out there.
Oh, I am pretty much the leader out there. Besides our captain, Larry Brady, Jim Scully, George Tischler, Joe Rizzo, there's a host of others.
Eric, come here. Come on in here. You're a new one here. Come on in. Eric Ringone. Got to bring him in here. Look, they all want to get on here. Talk about this team.
We got a great bunch of men here. We got Scully on the end. We got George Tischler in the middle, and we're just running things. Defense is just taking control of the ball.
You know, you mentioned Jim Scully. Come here. Here's a guy that made the transition from offense to defense. Was it easy for you, Jim?
Yeah.
Yeah, just like that. Yeah.
We have a lot of fun. It's a lot easier than offense. Oh, I'm a defensive boy now, I'll tell you that.
Hey, somebody tell me who wants to be the spokesperson, and somebody talk about Coach Gardy, what he means to this Hofstra team. Who's the spokesman? Who's the spokesman? Larry? Come here. I'll let Larry Brady. Come here, Larry, talk.
Jimmy Fiore.
Where's Jimmy Fiore? He's running away. All of a sudden, nobody wants to talk. Larry, tell me about Coach Joe Gardy.
Joe Gardy lets us play, lets us attack, and that's what we do. There's nobody better than us. And Coach Gardy's one of the reasons.
Larry,
we put the defense here, and that's why we're all the men, all of us right here.
Right here, baby. All right, well, men, best of luck in next week's first-round playoffs. Barry, go ahead. These guys are too big for me. Take it back.
All right, Carl, I hope you're able to emerge from that and make your way to Fordham tomorrow, because you look like you're a little under trouble there. Here's Sharkey for Jeff Long. Nicely thrown pass for the first down across midfield. And when Sean Sharkey has time and he sets his feet, he's got the arm. And we've seen that scrambling ability. So there are two good assets there. And this Jeff Long has been one of the pleasant stories for St. John's, along with Anthony Russo this year.
He really has. Coming back out, showing what he can do. Great season this year. Oh, with good hands. He catches the ball with his hands. I mean, that's impressive.
Young man from Iona Prep up in White Plains. How did they let him go up there? Really? Harold Crocker will be checking how he got away. But he missed it last year. He sat out Jeff Long and has come back very strong. He has 42 catches on the year. Sharkey gets the play action fake, buys a little time, chased on the far side, and will be driven down. Michael Rudolph, the backup linebacker, number 53, says, my turn for a little sack here. Third sack by Hofstra, and on the year that'll give him 39. They've had how many interceptions, Hal, today? 3 or 4?
So now we're talking 19, 20.
3, that'll give him 20.
20 interceptions for the season.
And one more sack will make it 40, so not a bad ratio.
Yeah.
2 sacks, 20 interceptions.
The 40-20 club. You know, they're coming up with all these clubs in baseball.
We're down to the final minute of play, and again, our thanks to all the people at St. John's, Athletic Director Jack Kaiser, Dick Leskowski, Associate Athletic Director Frank Raccanello, for all their help throughout the year, and certainly here at Hofstra, Jim Garvey, Jim Sheehan, Lisa Galliano from the sports information staff, and last but not least, Jamie Meyer, who has done a great job working with us in the booth again.
Let's go, CJ! We should be.
So with 44 seconds left, the clock stopped. Joe Gardy looks around.
Jet him, Bobby, jet him!
Never stop coaching, do you?
Never stop coaching.
Not until the final play. Joe even got a chance to go up to Brown this year to watch his son play when Hofstra had a week off. Fortunately, his son was injured that week, and kind of ironic that Mickey Kwiatkowski, who was here for so many years and had some outstanding teams, took over Brown this year, and they've struggled, but you know, Mickey will have his program turned around soon. Sharkey, incomplete, intended for Jeff Long, setting up a 4th down play with 38 seconds to go.
And ticket announcement again. In
Anticipation tomorrow afternoon, Beasley and I, along with Carl Reuter and the rest of our Sports Channel staff, as the Fordham Rams entertain the Holy Cross Crusaders. And for you Division III football fans, we'll keep you posted on those big games. We'll have a big scoreboard tomorrow. Let you know how Ramapo and Trenton State make out, Ithaca and CW Post, Portland State, St. John Fisher, Union Hamilton, and the rest of the other big scores in Division III football. So Hofstra fans, if you want to find out who Hofstra may be playing, tune in tomorrow. Sharkey being chased, and kind of fitting way perhaps for this game to end as he's brought down on a sack by Joe Farina, number 91.
Hey, they're all over him. He's got to feel very rushed in his mind when he drops back.
So it goes to the 20-40 club. They get their 40th sack, 4th of the game. Now the offense has a chance for one more play. Joe Gardy has kept the score down here in the second half. They have scored only 10 points here. A little bit of hugging going on. Give credit to one of the other fine coaches here. He brought in Greg Gigantino to work the defense. Oh, it's a cold night. One of the big linemen got him there. Oh. And it's cold, folks. Rich Salgado was the man who applied the bath. 25 seconds to go, and number 1. Well, in 1983, they finished undefeated, and in their very first game in the playoffs, they were shocked by Union College. We were here for that game. A stunning loss, but Hofstra thinks this year it's going to be different. Based on what we've seen, probably will be, but you never know.
Boy, that's got to be a dream for a coach to take that ride right there.
56 years of age.
Oh, come back, coach.
Now the teams will line up as they will shake hands in what could be the final meeting between these two schools. There have been rumors that they will not play again. Hofstra's finding it very difficult to find opponents that will play them in Division III football. And there have been talks, Beasley, that they would like to move up to Division I AA. They beat Fordham as the coaches shake hands over there. They beat Fordham, a 1AA team, and beat Bucknell, another 1AA team this year.
Well, they most certainly should move up. I'm sure that, of course, we all know that they are making strides in that direction to move up. Just a super program. They already have the players in place for that division. And like you said, it's hard to get people to play you when they know how tough you are. And they get a great recruiting job started, you know, with Mickey. The job that he did, and now carried on with Coach Gardy.
Now they've been
it's only going to get better.
A few coaches that have been left over from the previous regime. Vern Gamble, one of them. He handles the offensive backs. And what a pleasure that's got to be working with that group.
Unbelievable.
So Hofstra has completed its regular season undefeated at 10-0. So wait to find out who they will play Sunday afternoon, 5 o'clock. They should know as the conference call will be made. And you look at some of the other fine Division III, Dayton, which blew away Iona.
Right.
They are certainly looking to repeat as national champions. And, you know, New York State has been blessed. You had Wagner back in '87 winning the championship. Ithaca and Cortland State have been outstanding teams. And this year, perhaps those teams will be back in. Let's go down to the field with Carl Reuter.
All right, Barry, thank you very much. As Joe Gardy waves to some of the fans here, let's go back to August. Little old Hofstra.
Unbelievable, Carl, isn't it? I'll tell you what, I'm so proud of these young men. Wow, what a great feeling.
Did you ever envision 10-0 in your first campaign?
We talked about national championship August 10th at our first meeting. I know it sounds cocky and arrogant, but these, you know, it was a positive approach, and I think we started going, and when we hit Fordham and Bucknell and beat 2 Division I AA teams, I think we started riding the crest of the wave, and momentum kept going, and the young men just caught on. I'm so proud of them.
I know you're very proud, and you're the type of individual that will not celebrate too long, because your players a few moments ago told me Sunday it's back to business.
Exactly. We have a meeting. As a matter of fact, we're going to have some kind of a little get-together to find out where the playoff picture is going. They're going to, via satellite, they're going to pump it in. We're going to be in a room and have a little Coke and sandwiches, and so our people can find out who we're playing. We don't know who it's going to be, you know, whether it be Cortland State or what have you. And then right after that, we go to our meeting, and we'll be meeting for 4 or 5 hours, going over this game film and getting ready for the people we're going to play.
Joe, past history, the last 4 years about Hofstra playoffs, does that affect you or this team in any manner?
See, everyone's talked to me about rivalries like Post and St. John's and Wagner. I haven't felt any of that. And neither have my coaching staff, because most of them haven't been here before. So consequently, we're not caught up in what has happened in the past, obviously. You know, we weren't supposed to beat Fordham and Bucknell. We weren't supposed to be 10-0. And that's against all odds we did it. So we aren't worried about the play. We're thinking national championship. I really mean that sincerely. George Tischler, our great middle linebacker, told us, he says, Coach, you settle down. He said, you guys are worried about, we're not worried about 10-0. We're not worried about winning the national championship. He said, I'm worried, Coach, about whether or not we're the best Division III team ever in the history of the game. And that's how our players feel.
A lot of people say just suit them up right now, Hofstra and Dayton. Do you agree?
Again, I don't know a thing about Dayton. I know they were here today scouting us. So they must, you know, kind of feel that we're a team to look at and beat, hopefully.
Because of the type of guy that you are, I know you want to get in there and celebrate a little bit before you get back to business. Again, congratulations. We'll see you out here next week in the first round of the playoffs.
Thanks for being with us all year.
All right, Joe Gardy, congratulations on just a super win indeed for Hofstra. They go out on top in this one by the score of 48-0 over St. John's. They wrap up the regular season with a 10-0 campaign. Back with more right after this.
Great job.
The Hofstra University campus is one of only 65 in the nation recognized as an arboretum with over 6,000 trees representing over 200 different varieties. The Hofstra Museum, one of only 45 nationally accredited university museums with 40 exhibitions each year. The internationally recognized Hofstra Cultural Center, and over 500 cultural events each year available to students and the public. Hofstra University, we teach success.
Hello?
Hi, honey. I just checked in.
How was the flight?
Bad food, good movie.
I miss you.
I miss you, too.
I feel so alone when you're not here.
Did you lock all the doors and turn on the ADT system?
Yep.
The last thing a burglar wants to see. ADT helps protect your home and family 24 hours a day, every day of the year by linking your home to an ADT customer service center. Call 1-800-ADT-INFO. For a small monthly fee and one-time installation charge, our SafeWatch system can help protect your home against break-ins, fire, and medical emergencies. Help protect your home. Help protect your peace of mind. Call 1-800-ADT-INFO.
I'll see you at home tomorrow night, then. I love you both.
We love you, too. We'll be here.
ADT, we're home even when you're not.
ADT Safe Watch. Call this number now. Only $395 installation and $19.95 monthly monitoring fee. ADT, we're home even when you're not.
Oh. Got a cold? Gotta feel better? You've got to get relief with Alka-Seltzer Plus cold medicine.
It works.
It's fast.
It works fast.
When you've got to get relief fast, you got to get Alka-Seltzer Plus. And now, for sinus and allergy relief, try new Alka-Seltzer Plus sinus allergy medicine.
Back at Hofstra, Barry Landers joined by Beasley Reese. Well, we expected Hofstra to come out and score a lot of points. They did it. And now the second season starts for Hofstra. They get down to serious business.
You know, it was very interesting to hear Coach Gardy talk about how they felt very good and confident coming in. But that's one thing to think that way, and then to actually execute, to put together a great season like this. And now the future, it's up to them. This is a great football team, as you saw, a very, very powerful offense and opportunistic defense, and the playoffs should be very exciting.
And we'll be on hand for those playoffs and follow Hofstra through the playoffs. And next week, of course, they start. We don't know who their opponent will be. It could be Cortland State, Ithaca, depending on what happens, Ramapo perhaps, but it'll be fun.
It will be, and of course, like you said, we'll be right here just to see this offense gel. You know, they started in the beginning a little bit shaky, and now I don't know what type of team can slow Rory Moss and those talented receivers and running backs down.
It'll be interesting to see what kind of offense can also give that defense any problems, because it's an awfully good defense.
It is. Of course, the shutout tonight, 10 points a game average throughout the season. It's a great defense.
And for St. John's, some positive notes as they end on a losing note, lose 5 in a row, but they're going to be back next year, and they get themselves some help on the line, offensive line. They could be heard from next year in Liberty Conference.
It'll be a long ride home for them tonight, but the future's bright. Sharkey, the young quarterback, looked good. They've got some good young talent, and the future looks good for them.
All right, once again, our final score tonight, the Hofstra Flying Dutchman 48, and the St. John's Redmen nothing. Remember, Metro Football is back on Sports Channel tomorrow afternoon at 1 when the Fordham Rams host the high-flying Holy Cross Crusaders. And tomorrow night at 7:30, red-hot Pat LaFontaine and the New York Islanders battle Joe Newendike in the Calgary Flames at Nassau Coliseum. Coming up next is high school football from California as Pinole Valley takes on De La Salle. This is Barry Landers for Beasley Reese, Carl Reuter, and Hal Sass saying so long until tomorrow. Thanks for watching Metro College Football on Sports Channel America.
Nothing as it's now 3rd and 20.
And we welcome those viewers in New York who have been watching Liberty College.